And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, the State of the Union address, hopefully the last one from President Joe Biden, is in the books. We'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. Also, Miami Beach. Hey, black folks, get off the beach. Is it about black folks? Is it about tourists? Is it about ne'er-do-wells, rabble-rousers, thugs, hooligans? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, electric vehicles. This was pretty controversial. A lot of people did not like this video. Electric vehicles worse for the environment than their gas-powered counterparts. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, California doing what California always does, trying to make it a lot easier for illegal aliens to purchase homes. What part of the game is that? I mean, I know California does some crazy things, but this might be at the very top of the bad things that they have done. Also, Bill Maher is kind of confused about the 100,000 Democrat voters in Michigan who decided to vote against President Joe Biden in the protest. Is it about Israel, Hamas, Palestine, or is it about something else? We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you enjoyed the content, if you enjoy what you're hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We have a whole lot going on, a lot of exclusive video that I've not shown you guys yet on the regular channel. I'm going to show you guys tonight. So shout out to y'all again for joining. I really, really appreciate you. We got a lot going on. But first, y'all know how I do. Shout out to the sponsor. Shout out to ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com, ablmerch.com. Also, I think I fixed the issue with the ads because, you know, I don't really need the ads on the live stream like that. You guys support me, so I really appreciate y'all. I think YouTube was trying something new where they would automatically place ads in the stream, but I was able to go into the back end and disable that. I don't want to have the stream interrupted with ads every 5 to 10 minutes. That's just not good for the user experience. If it's going to be like that by default and I can't change it, then it is what it is. But I was able to change it, so there shouldn't be any ads interrupting the stream. All right. And if it is, don't blame me, blame the white man. It ain't my fault. All right. So that's that. That's an update on that one from the last one. I got some emails from some of you guys about that. So I want to let you know that I did my due diligence and my research to fix the issue, and now we should be good to go. All right. Hold on. Monroe Doctrine says, did you get my email at Sweet Baby Inc. and their woke video game agenda? I did not see that. I'm about to go check my email. I was just talking about emails. Sometimes I miss a few of them. Rumble is useless at this moment. Maybe one day Rumble will become a competitor to YouTube, but right now it's like putting it in a shoebox. I have BitChute, and nobody looks at that at all. People, at one point, people were saying, hey, ABL, you should put your videos on BitChute as a backup, and then I did it, and nobody watches. Well, I ain't gonna say nobody. A handful of you guys watch on BitChute, but it's just, I rather would just have BitChute than Rumble at this point. Now, if Rumble can, you know, become a competitor and they can start doing, they could start having like the ads on there where you can get paid from it. And also if they have the tools, because that's something else. I'm not quite sure if it's automated. Even with BitChute, it's automated. I can set it up to where whenever I upload on YouTube, it'll go to BitChute as well. But I'm not quite sure the same thing is available on Rumble. So I was just responding to the comment, somebody talking about Rumble. But shout out to them, though. I hope that they do very well. But they're not really ready right now, in my humble opinion. My videos are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and that's pretty much it for right now. So shout out to you guys. And Also, go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. You'll be able to find articles for each video that I produce. And in each article, you'll find sources from the left and the right, from independent, Republican, Democrat, politically agnostic, local, national, international. All your sources will be right there on the website. Full videos, uncensored. As long as it's legal, I'll post it on my website. YouTube can't block it. Facebook can't block it. Twitter can't block it. TikTok can't block it. Nobody can block it. And shout out to my internet service, pardon me, not my ISP. Shout out to my host for my website. They are fantastic. I told a story before about how I had an article that went viral back during the scamdemic. This is like in the heart of the scamdemic. It might have been 2020 or 2021. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull it up right quick, because this article went viral and it crashed the whole thing. Yeah, this is 2020. So many years ago, this article went viral and crashed the whole interweb, right? So check it out. This article right here. This article went viral. Doctors at the White Coat Summit expose the virus. Remember this? This is July 27, 2020. Okay. Yeah, Stella Emanuel, everybody. This was really wild. When I was talking about hydroxychloroquine and all kind of stuff, ivermectin, I was talking about that in the article. This went viral all over the place. It caused my Facebook page to get demonetized. It caused a lot of problems on social media. My host called me. They called me on the phone and said, hey, we see your article went viral. We're not tripping about it. We want to just get you on a better plan to where it doesn't crash the whole server. It crashed. It was on the shared server, crashed the whole server. It was like, look, let's get you on a better plan so you're not crashing the server. And ever since then, I've been rocking with them. So shout out to my host. And again, whatever I can't post on YouTube, it'll go on the website. I don't make much money from the website, but it's not even about that. It's about you guys. It's about a resource for y'all. Yeah, not a conspiracy at all. Not a conspiracy. Not in the least bit. So yeah, shout out to the host. Shout out to the White Coat Summit. And shout out to all the doctors who knew what was going on. You know, it was crazy. You know, we're living in a crazy time where they were trying to say that all these doctors with actual evidence didn't know what they were talking about. But quote unquote, Dr. Fauci was the go-to guy, although he bungled the whole HIV AIDS epidemic, but different story. I digress. Okay. Monroe Doctrine says Sweet Baby Inc. harasses and forces game companies to put woke stuff in the video games. They even admitted that's their whole plan in the live stream. Wow, that's crazy. That's totally wild. All right. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says, how did you come up with the Wednesday and Saturday live stream schedule? And have you ever considered going live at any other time or day of the week? Now, you guys who have been here for a long time, if I'm saying something wrong, y'all correct me. But when I first started going live, it was only one day a week. I think I started going live on Saturday. I think that's when I started going live. Again, if I'm wrong, y'all please correct me. But I wanted to do another show, a second show during the week rather than just one. So I just picked a Wednesday because it was far enough from either I started going live on Wednesday, then I picked Saturday, or the other way around. The science behind it was to have enough time in between. So you got 3 days in between one and 4 days in between the other, basically. So, okay. So Wednesday, you got Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's enough events that happen in between that time to have enough to talk about on the show. And then the same thing for Wednesday. You got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then that Wednesday, the fourth day. So that was the logic behind it. Now, I thought about going live every day, but I'm not quite sure I got enough time for that. Not every day, maybe like during the weekdays, maybe like another day. But I'm not quite sure I got enough time or enough content to go live that much. All right, so that was the science behind that. Okay. Let me see. Chris Williams says Rumble has free speech without being demonetized. Well, the problem is you don't get monetized at all. So it doesn't matter. It's you don't make money on there as far as I know. So it doesn't matter. David says, can you tell us how you changed the setting to stop midstream ads? I'd love to forward this info to another YouTuber who's been played with it. Okay. Let me see if I can show you guys this without messing my stuff up. Okay. I think I can show you guys this. All right. So a little bit of behind inside baseball, as they call it. Let me just show you guys this. Okay. I think I'll be good. You're not going to see anything you shouldn't see. Yeah, I'm good. All right. So this right here is what I see on the back end. When I'm streaming, this is what I see on the back end. Okay. Now, this is where I end the stream, start the stream. I see all you guys super chats. I see other things right here. I see how many are watching right now, concurrent. I see how much revenues come in, all of that. I see right here. And you see this piece right here. It says, focus your live stream and let YouTube insert ads for you. Now, if I enable that, that's what does the whole thing with the ads. Now, where you can turn it off is you can go, you see where it says edit right here next to my title up in the top part of the screen. Hit edit and then go to monetization. And then you see this right here. It says ads. Might be kind of hard to see. I'm gonna try to zoom in a little bit. There we go. Now, of course, I'm monetized. And then where it says live ad settings. Now, what people probably did was just push that little prompt without even thinking about it. And then it enabled this option right here. You see where it says let YouTube insert mid-rolls for you. Now, when you do that, that's when the ads start to play automatically. What I did was choose how mid-rolls appear, and then I say insert mid-roll ads manually. So if I want to have ads, what I'll do is push this little button right there to insert an ad. But if I don't push that button, then I won't have mid-roll ads that appear throughout the stream unless YouTube overrides me and does it by themselves, which I don't think they're going to do. If anything, they'll do it after the stream is over. So that's pretty much how that goes. You can send this piece of the video to your friend or your streamer who is suffering the same issue, and then that should be pretty much that. Yeah, I guess you can make more money doing that, but not really, not enough. You guys support me, so I don't really see the purpose in doing that, but I understand. I think what's happening is people that don't make money on their live streams, YouTube may be kind of losing money on some of those streams, so they're trying to make it to where they can just put ads in it to make money. Because with do I make 10,000 in the stream? Where'd you see that at? I don't make no 10,000 in the stream. You guys are seeing the wrong thing. I wish if I made 10,000 in the stream, there definitely won't be no need for no ads. But yeah, I think YouTube started to do that because a lot of streams did not make any money from super chats or anything. So they said, okay, you guys are going live for 8 hours and you might make $2 in the stream. So let's just put ads in it to make some revenue so we don't lose. Because super chats, they take like 40% or 30% of super chats. So if you guys are contributing to super chats, then there's no need to put ads in it from YouTube's point of view to make money. But if you are not, then they need to put ads in it to make money, if that makes any sense. All right. So that's pretty much that on that. Yeah, I wish I would 10 grand a live stream. Man, you got to be like a lead attorney. Shout out to lead attorney. You got to be somebody like that. One of the top dogs that does live streaming to make that kind of money. You got to be maybe like a Destiny or somebody like that. And by the way, I saw Destiny had a little bit of a debate, I guess you would say, with Candace Owens. I think I will try to find some time to watch that. I might do like a little bit of a breakdown of it. But we got a whole lot going on. And shout out to you guys. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Yeah, ain't no problem, Exotic. You know, I just try to help people out. I try to help everybody just do what they got to do. Now, let's keep going here. We got quite a few things. Super chats coming in already. I'll read those a little bit later as I normally do. Thank you guys for being here. Now, here's some videos that I want to get into. This is really interesting. Shout out to my man out here on the street with a whole RPG. And you see he has a nice t-shirt. I'm not going to read that, but you guys can read it. You can see it on the screen. All right. Now, check it out. Now, the the caption was, what state is he in? You guys let me know, what state is he in? The ATF is something. Three-letter word. It starts with a G and ends with a Y, and it has an A somewhere in the middle. He has the sidearm, nice belt buckle, and the RPG right on the road. You guys let me know what state he's in. And I forgot the most important piece. the most important accessory he has, aside from the belt buckle and a sidearm and the RPG, the cigar, okay? I know that's going to be a really, really, really nice cigar, all right? Now, you guys are saying Texas, California, Arizona, Missouri, Nevada, Alabama, Long Beach, California. Now, if I had to guess, I would say that looks kind of like somewhere out west because of the like this wall right here, the way that looks. Yeah, some southwestern state, exactly, NKM. That's kind of what it looks like to me as well. Now, this belt buckle looks like a Texas belt buckle, but he may not necessarily be in Texas. But wherever he is, hey, shout out to him. Hopefully, he didn't go to the penitentiary, make big rocks, little rocks with an RPG right in the center of the street. And to have an RPG and your sidearm in the center of the street, you got to be somewhere in a more conservative place. You got to be in, a hard R on the Alabama for sure. You got to be in a conservative place. If he was in California, I'm not quite sure he'd be able to be out there just kind of hanging out like ain't nothing going on. But yeah, shout out to him. And that t-shirt is amazing. I might need a shirt like that as well. Now, this next clip, very short clip, I don't know what to think. I saw a poster for this online and I thought I was being trolled. I had to make sure before I posted it on my Facebook page, I had to make sure that it was correct. I had to make sure that I wasn't being trolled, that I was seeing the right thing. Okay. And as a matter of fact, this is what I saw. I saw this right here. Are you guys seeing this poster? Now, for you guys who are listening only, and shout out to you guys who are listening to the audio only podcast on Google Play, Apple, iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description. If you're on your audio streaming platform, search ABL Live. I should pop right on up for the audio only podcast. But if you listen to me on the audio only podcast, this is a poster of Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson on Netflix, Saturday, July 20th at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Now, I thought this was fake. I was like, there's no way that Jake Paul is going to fight Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson, how old is he anyway? He's got to be in his mid-50s. Let me see. He is 57 years old. And by the time they fight, he will be 58 years old because he turned 58 on June 30th, 1966. That's his birthday. So he'll be 58 by the time they fight in July. I thought this was fake, but it is 100% real. It is 100% real. And it's going to be on Netflix. And I'll tell you what, I'm watching it. I don't care. I don't care. I'm watching it. Are you guys going to watch Mike Tyson at 58 when he's 57 right now. He will turn 58 by the time they fight. Are you going to watch Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight or no? Is that a hard no? Now we got the face off right here. Okay, we got the face off right here. Now, Mike appears to be in pretty good shape. Okay, we got a little belly right here, but it ain't much. That's probably just, if you punch him right now, and the belly's probably going to be rock solid. I saw him training. He looks pretty good still. All right, now Jake Paul, I think, is like 26, much younger. But of course, Jake Paul, I don't know. I don't think Jake Paul has kind of ruined boxing to a certain extent, but at the same time, I don't think boxing was really in a good state before this. I think UFC came along, that took a lot of wind out of sails, and then WWE always being around took a lot of wind out of it, and now we got Jake Paul just fighting anybody, and a lot of the fights, you could say that they're rigged and they're staged. It's a mess. Fighting UFC fighters, it's a whole big mess. Now, I've seen a few training videos, Robbie Mills, so I'm not quite sure which one was an old one, but I've seen a lot of videos floating around lately. So that's going to happen. That's a real thing. I fact checked it. It is 1000% real. All right. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm watching it on Netflix. It's not an ad, but I'm going to watch it. And I hope that Tyson will knock Jake Paul clean out. I want to see Just that I want to see this jaw action. I want to see all of this action over here just get pushed. Just get pushed over. Just shift it a little bit. I want to see that jaw do the Bobby Brown. Like, I want to see that happen live on camera. But we'll see how the whole thing goes when it happens. What I don't want to see is Mike Tyson laying on the ground. If I see that, I never watch television again. But anyway, let's keep on rocking and rolling. Didn't Tyson bite someone's ear off? Of course he did. That was Holyfield, and they've made up. They've been able to patch. They've been able to patch that up, no pun intended, and be able to get beyond it. That was like 25 years ago or more. Matter of fact, when was that? Mike Tyson Holyfield incident. That was like 97. That's 97. So very long time ago. You're talking about what, 27, 28 years ago? Long time ago. Anyway, let's keep on rocking and rolling. Now, speaking about people that are kind of up there in age, Mr. Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro, how old is he? He is 80 years old. He'll be 81 in August. He just had a baby. Congratulations to him at 80 years old, having a baby. And not only does he have a baby, a new baby, he also still has a really aggressive case of Trump derangement syndrome, okay? Maybe the baby could kind of even them out and mellow him out, but I'm not quite sure, all right? So let's check this out. And I will still be streaming the night of the Tyson fight, most likely, but we'll see.
Nothing at all, nothing redeemable in him. And we have to, and whoever the people are who want to vote for him, and there look like intelligent people around there, somebody, for some reason, it can't be. It cannot be. If he wins the election, you won't be on the show anymore. He'll come looking for me. They'll be. So
this is Robert De Niro talking about Trump, saying, hey, if he wins the election, he's going to come looking for me. It's like, what? Okay, for what though? What threat are you really in the real thing, in the real sense? Are you afraid of this man? Do you have dreams about this man at night? Is he going to come do something to you? Like, what's really happening?
There'll be things that happen that none of us can imagine. That's what happens in that kind of a dictatorship, which is what he says. Let's believe him. Take him at his word.
I did from the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, I said from the very beginning, this guy is never going to concede power, and he still hasn't.
I mean, Trump has been gone out of office since January 2021. We're in 2024. They talk about this guy every day. Every day. It's like, good grief. If obsession was a person, it'd be Robert De Niro, 100%. And a lot of these people, you know, I was on the Twitters the other day, and then someone was talking to me, and they had a picture of Trump, and it was like a defaced picture of Trump as their profile picture. I'm like, you have a problem. If you hate the guy that much, why is he your profile picture? I mean, if I hate somebody, that's like hating someone and then getting them tattooed right on your forehead. You're not making any sense right here. At a certain point, that's called a mental illness. We need to start calling people crazy again. Make crazy people crazy again, rather than saying that it just got some kind of disorder. No, you're just crazy. How about that?
No. He still hasn't admitted he lost the last election. And he advertises that he will go on. He says he's been cheated out of one term. So maybe we should get rid of a president only gets 2 terms thing.
Nothing at all.
So that's your man, Robert De Niro, almost 81 years old. Hey, if you spend that much time thinking about one man, you might want to, just check yourself and be like, hey, just take a long look in the mirror and have a talk with yourself. Like, am I okay? Is something wrong with me that I'm obsessing about this man so much that I talk about him every day? When will they stop? They'll probably talk about, like, you'll probably have De Niro talking about Trump when he's 100 years old. It's like, it's been 25, 30 years. Let it go. Let it go. And what did Trump ever do aside from have a great economy and do the right thing and be honest and have mean tweets? What was the big deal? What was the problem? Anyway, so shout out to my man right here for what we see right here in front of us. We're seeing some LGBT steps. You know how they do all the time. They do all this stuff. They have the rainbow flag for the LGBTs on the road. They have it everywhere. And sometimes you might have guys that do burnouts. And then wasn't it like the guy was wanted for arrest because he did a burnout of the LGBT colors on the ground? It's like, look, how am I getting arrested for driving on the ground, on the road? You could say that it's vandalism to do that, but wouldn't it be the case, regardless of what is actually painted on the ground, leaving the tire marks on the ground, either it's an offense or it's not. And if it's not, then don't let it get heightened when there's some LGBT colors. But anyway, my man right here said, you know what? I'm not going to go down these steps. Normally, we're going to just hop right over them. Yeah. the yeah at the end was hilarious. Shout out to whoever that was. Now, that was very impressive. Shout out to my man for hopping right over the LGBTQ elemental P stairs. All right. Shout out to my man for doing that. And hopefully he didn't get hit with a hate crime. And then this one says, Serbian kid does gymnastics. We have an LGBT flag hanging up in the sky. It's everywhere. And my thing is, they talk about, they say, oh, we just want to live and we don't want to harm anybody. We don't want to. If you just want to live and do your own thing, then why do I see the rainbow flag everywhere? Where's the hetero flag at? Why is that not everywhere, all over the place? Just if whatever you do behind closed doors, that's your business. I really don't want to know. I have no reason to know what you do. As long as you're not committing no crime, as long as you're not taking advantage of somebody and you both consenting adults, whatever y'all do is y'all business. I'm not really in the way. Why must you advertise what you do behind closed doors everywhere? So watch this. No sound on the video, but my man, young Serbian kid, boom. Now, shout out to my man for the 40-inch vertical, the basketball dunking vertical. Hey, talk to your countryman. What's your man from Serbia? Luka Doncic. Shout out to him. Call him on the phone. Try to get on the NBA team. You'd be a great fit for the Sacramento Kings or the Dallas Mavericks somewhere where they play that Euro-style ball. And running away. Now, my man right here appears to be trying to go after him. It's like, look, just take your lunch pail and go about your business. Why would you even worry about my man with the treetop vertical taking the LGBT flag down? Yeah, Air Serbia. Shout out to all the former Yugoslav Republic people, Drazen Petrovic, everybody that got a bunch of C's and Z's in the name. Shout out to all them. Vlade Divac, everybody. Shout out to all of them out there in that particular part of Europe. The LGBT stuff, they're not really with it. Now, coming back to America, speaking about public places, the streets, sidewalks, stairs, the subway system. We saw the subway under Kathy Hochul and Eric Adams. We have the National Guard. Let me see if I can pull it up right quick. You got a National Guard in the subway, and Kathy Hochul has been interviewed about it. But let's put it up on the screen right quick as far as the story. Then we get to what Kathy Hochul said. If you got a problem with it, she has a message for you.
Governor Kathy Hochul says subway safety concerns will not stand. And this morning, she and the MTA unveiled a 5-point plan to make the rails safer after a recent rash of violence. It includes flooding the system with state police and National Guard troops. News 4's Tracy Strahan is in Hell's Kitchen right now with the plan. Tracy?
Well, that news conference wrapped up just a short time ago with Governor Kathy Hochul laying out muscle in the thousands that would be flooding the underground system.
Now, remember, the thousands, and sorry for the freeze frame, the thousands, 750 National Guard and 250 MTA police down in the subway system. I kind of go forward a little bit so you can see them.
Officers, even members of New York's National Guard, will now support random bag checks in subway stations. Now, it's something commuters may have seen already this week by NYPD teams. In addition, the program announced by the governor would address recidivism, banning violent offenders who assault other passengers. Now, in announcing that bill, the governor also shouted out judges.
So you see, you have uniformed guys. They're going to have uniformed guys in the subway, long guns, the whole 9 yards. Now, what I want to show is what Kathy Hochul said. All right. In an interview, the caption here says, Kathy Hochul, then go home. You're not taking the subway. To anyone who has a problem with it, because some people don't like, I guess, the militarization of the subway system. Why are we seeing uniformed troops with long guns in the subway? What's going on? Now, here's her message to you.
To search bags?
Randomly.
Randomly.
There is a statistical.
What happens if you don't want your bag searched?
Then go home. We're not going to search you. You can say no, but you're not taking the subway.
You're going to search bags?
Randomly.
Randomly.
There is a statistical.
What happens if you don't want your bag searched?
Then go home. We're not going to search you. You can say no, but you're not taking the subway.
So what do you guys think? Do you think it's a good thing, bad thing about the bag searching? Now, I'm reading something right here. Jay Balu says a woman was pushed onto the subway track today and got hit by a train, had her feet amputated, purple on the run. Now, let me see if I can find that right quick. Woman pushed on the subway. Woman pushed on subway platform, hit. So let me see. Woman loses her legs after boyfriend allegedly pushes her onto tracks in Lower Manhattan. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I mean, that's what's happening out here in New York City. I'm good. People, for some reason, they love New York. If you are a New Yorker, shout out to you. My prayers out to you, because I know it's rough out there. I'm good on that, on some of these cities. I'm straight. Here's the article right here. So this was published today. So yeah, this just happened. She was 29 years old, or is 29 years old. She didn't die. She was hit by a southbound 3 train. MTA source previously told Fox 5 that the woman was pushed onto the tracks. Check it to the nearby hospital. Her feet had to be amputated. Suspects at large. Crazy. Now, that's what the officers should be down there to do. To get a lot of the... Because imagine that happens to you, especially if it's a random encounter. In this situation, it's probably a boyfriend, probably something domestic, something like that. But imagine you're in the subway and you get hit by somebody, boom, now you're on the tracks, and then the train's coming at you, and maybe you live, maybe you don't. That's crazy. Crazy, crazy. All right. Now, speaking about being in America, protecting yourself, having your bag searched, because God forbid you have a gun in your bag in New York City. We can't have that. That's going to be totally against the rules, I suppose. But hey, you get pushed on the track, maybe you get deleted by some random crackhead, then hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. I've seen plenty of fights that could have been ended or may not have started. Sometimes you need a deterrent. Look, I'm not trying to be fighting in the streets. If somebody tries to punch me in the face or get into a tussle, I'm not trying to wrestle. This ain't WWF. I'm not The Rock. I'm not, I know I'm a black guy, whatever, but I'm not Nation of Domination. I'm not D'Lo Brown or nothing. I ain't going to be in the ring wrestling with you. I'm going to actually put my weapon on you. If you try to hurt me or you try to seriously injure me, push me onto the railroad tracks or the subway tracks, no. At that point now, it's life or death. I'm going to pull my gun on you if my life is in danger. But beyond that, I'm all about peace and love. I'm the cuddly bear beyond that. Now, this woman does not like the issue. She does not like that we have guns in this country. She does not like that we're armed and we can protect ourselves, at least in some parts of the country. Let's check it out.
I read some real upbeat stuff today and I wanted to share it with you, so here we go. The United States is the only country in the world where civilian guns outnumber people. There are 857 million civilian-owned guns worldwide, and 393 million of those are in America. So 46% of the world's civilian-owned guns are in America. 4 out of every 100,000 people in America have been victims of gun violence. 44% of U.S. suicides are carried out with a gun. The U.S. is the only developed country where mass shootings are a regular occurrence. About 44% of people living in America live with a gun. And per every 100 people in America, there are 120 guns. But it's not enough. People want more guns.
Yes, we want more. This is America. It is what it is. What are you going to do? Like, just wave a magic wand and have all the guns just vanish? So then, who's going to have guns? The police? Are the police going to have guns? Because if the police got guns and you don't, guess what? Now you're back in slavery. They can tell you to do whatever they want. That's the whole point of our Constitution. It's written in paper. Like, our gun culture was what we were founded on. It's written in the document. It's right there. Second Amendment shall not be infringed. Other nations don't have our documents, our founding documents. Other nations aren't the USA. You see our southern border gets flooded all the time from the whole world trying to come here. Why? Oh, they got so many guns. It's so dangerous. If it's so dangerous, it's so bad, then I can't tell. Why is the whole world trying to come here? Her point she's trying to make about guns is that it's a bad thing that we have so many guns. I guess that's the whole issue. And then I read a comment from somebody. Somebody said, they hope I don't get into a physical fight ever. I'm not going to fight. I'm not a fighter. I'm not trying to fight you in the street. I'm 40 years old, man, and I got no time for that. I'm not fighting somebody in the street because, especially nowadays, ain't nobody trying to fight fair anyway. This ain't when we're not 5 years old, 8 years old anymore. If I was a little boy in elementary school where we, would fight in recess or playing basketball or something like that, that's different. But nowadays, you try to fight somebody, you got people that got all types of weapons. They got guns. They will call somebody you don't see from the shadows and jump you. It'd be 15 guys jumping you by yourself, hands and feet, and you get deleted. Ain't nobody got no time for that. Nah, take this, boom. But if you just leave me alone, mind your business, I have no problem with you. I'll be the nicest guy in the world. I'll be your best friend that you ever met in your life. But if you try to hurt me, I'm gonna protect myself, and that's it. That's that on that. Yeah, I'm not trying to fight. Are you dumb? 40 years old fighting? No way. No way. Nuh-uh. I'm going to avoid it. And if I can't, somebody going to get hurt. Now, speaking about ain't going to be no fighting, speaking about you could have something happen to you, explain what's happening in this clip, okay? Now, check this out. This, you see Vladimir Putin. I think in this clip, it's kind of blurry a little bit, but I'm seeing Vladimir Putin speaking to Justin Trudeau, and I think Trump is in the frame right here. I see that glorious mane. I see him sitting right there next to them. But Trudeau, the body language here is kind of interesting. Putin is upright, but he's not really trying to engage with Trudeau. Trudeau is like kind of looking down, and it's like an accusatory type of body language going on here. So that's the setup. But I want you guys to watch what happens and let me know what you think is going on next. So I got a question to ask. What do you think happened right here? What do you think is going on? You let me know. Now, I think I know what's happening, but you guys let me know what you think transpired. I'll play it one more time for you guys. So what's going on? Now, I think I know what happened. You got the bodyguard for Putin running up on him like, hey, is everything all right? Everything good? And he's waving them off like, nah, don't worry about it. He's fine. He's good. That's what's going on. He might have got that Navalny right there. Boom, back in the neck. He would have been done, deleted. Yeah, so Trudeau dodged the bullet quite literally right there, for sure. Because the body language is not really right. And the bodyguard's like, I don't like what's going on. But he waved him off like, don't worry about it. It's all good. So yeah, shout out to shout out to Vladimir Putin for sparing that man. Also in the frame, that's Mohammed bin Salman from Saudi Arabia, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to him. This is a very powerful room. So I think the bodyguard didn't like this body language from Justin Trudeau. Yeah, so that could have ended very badly for your man right there. Okay. Yeah. Where was that? I'm not quite sure. Some big event. I can't call it. But yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. When you're trying to fight people in the streets, just like Trudeau is talking to Putin. His mind is thinking about Putin just being right here. Maybe he thinks that it's just Putin. Of course, there's more than just Putin. It's probably guys all around that building that are ready to jump into action at any moment. Anything happens, immediately they're going to spring on you. Same thing with fighting in the streets. You think it's one person by themselves. Meanwhile, you got 4 or 5 guys right in the corner ready to spring into action. Anybody got no time for them fighting? I'm pulling my gun out. Allegedly, if I had them, but I don't. But again, it was a tragic boating accident. I don't have any weapons, so I'm not going to do that at all. Now, this was an interesting on the street interview. In this case, it was inside of a Home Depot. The young man is asking these people, how much did you pay for your first house? Now, if you have a boomer, let's say somebody that was born in the 50s, maybe the 40s. I say, how about the 40s? If someone was born in the 40s or 50s and they purchased their first home, let's say in the 70s or 60s, how much do you think they paid for their first house? Before I show you guys a clip, how much do you think people paid for their first home in the 1960s and 70s? Give me some numbers and then I'll play the clip for you guys. All right. And you can see the ages of them right here. What you have is a man and his mother-in-law. It's not his wife, it's his mother-in-law. So how much do you think both of them paid? He has one price and she has a different price. So you guys are saying some prices, $20,000, $15,000, $25,000, $10,000, $50,000, $4,000, $16,000. Wow. Vegas woman says 2010 first house was $120,000. My. Those days, I miss those days. It seemed like that was a short while ago, but really it was 14 years ago. But it wasn't that long ago, 2010. It wasn't that long ago. 120. That's wild. Now I'm seeing some numbers, and then somebody says, but they only made $2 an hour. I'm going to address that point. I'm going to address that point for sure. All right, hold on. Someone says, born in the late 50s, paid $8,500 for my first house. Bobby Brown, that's wild. That is just psh. Now, when did you buy your house? Was it in the 70s, 80s? When was your first house purchase? That's got to be in the 70s, right? Or like early 80s? $8,500 for your first house? Now, hold on. JDY says tax value today is $230,000 on a $13,000 brick house in 1968. That's wild. Okay, let's go ahead and play it, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more.
How much did y'all pay for y'all's first house?
$37,000 for it.
$1,000?
But that was in 1980.
80?
So $37,000 in 1980. Now, we're going to get a different number from his mother-in-law right here.
How do you feel like, was that your first house?
That's my, I'm the mother-in-law.
How much was your first house?
My first house was $16,000.
How much did y'all pay for?
So his first house was, what did he say? $37,000 in 1980. So we're talking about 44 years ago, $37,000. And hers was $16,000. She didn't say what year, but I presume it was probably about 20 years before her son-in-law got his first house, probably in the 60s somewhere, $16,000. Now, people are saying, hey, you know what? They made $2 an hour, all this and that, and the third. Let me just say this. Okay, I saw one comment. Somebody said up under that video right there they said, well, look, my first house was in the 70s. I paid $36,000 for it, but I made that much per year as a salary, $36,000. Well, look, no, pardon me, it wasn't that much. They said it made $12,000. So they made $12,000 a year, and their first house cost $36,000. But see, that's only 3x their actual salary. But houses now are costing how much? $500,000. If you're living in a decent sized city, where I live, I'm not living in the big city, and I'm not in the left coast. Forget about California. Forget about it. California, don't even worry about it. Look, in California, to live in the ghetto, to dodge bullets, you're paying $600,000. Can I go on Zillow right quick to show you guys some house prices? Can I please do that right quick? Now, I'm not necessarily a real estate genius or anything of the sort, but I want to show some stuff here. Let's look at Watts, Los Angeles. Yeah, let's look at Watts. Yeah, for sale. Okay. Now we all know about Watts. This is, Los Angeles. This is like not really a good neighborhood. And I'm going to show you. All right. So take a look at this house right here. This is going to be, they list it as a 5-bed, 2-bath, but it's only 1,481 square feet. So I'm not quite sure where they get 5 bedrooms from. Now, this is going to be $600,000. Look at this. Look at this house. $600,000 for that. Bars on the window, bars on the door. Okay, it's probably an old house as well. Probably was built in the 50s or something like that. Look at this. $600,000. Again, this is Los Angeles, Watts. All right. So they did a little bit of renovation, a little bit of some new floors, new paint, new fixtures. Okay, we got gray and the in style flooring. Okay, cool. But we got bars on the window. We're in the ghetto. A little bit of bathroom reno. All right, look at it. One thing I don't want to have is bars on my window. $600,000 for bars on the window. You gotta be, you're out of your mind. But you're LA. That's just kind of what it is out there. All right, 1,481 square feet. 5-bed, 2-bath. That's what you're gonna get for that. Now, let me see when that house was built. Let's see if I can find more details about it. This house was built when? When was it built? I don't know if they want to tell me. Can I see that? They don't want to tell me when it was built. But it's probably an old house. I'm sure it's an old house. The neighborhood probably was good at one point. Oh, it's not. It ain't that old. It was built 2006. It probably was refurbed in 2006. It probably was an old house that got refurbed. They probably tore it down and built it back up in 06. Okay, now, yeah, $500,000 for a prison, exactly. Now you guys say, Orange County, California. Now, Orange County, y'all are tripping. Now, this is Stanton, California. Okay, if you guys know about California locations, okay, this is crazy. You guys in California are nuts. Look, okay, $569,000 for a 2-bed, 1-bath, 850 square foot home. I am not making this up. Look at this. $569,000, Orange County, Stanton, California, 2-bed, 1-bath, 850 square feet. Now, the one I showed you, Watts, that's the ghetto. This, I presume, is a nicer neighborhood, but I'm still seeing bars. I'm still seeing bars on the door. I'm still seeing a security door. I mean, look, that's like the size of an apartment. And it's like they're kind of keeping it raggedy a little bit. It looks kind of ghetto. Am I tripping, or is it ghetto? Like, what is going on here? 850 square feet. That's like an apartment, worse than an apartment. 2-bed, 1-bath for $570. Crazy. And okay, one more. Let's go Washington, D.C. Forget about it. D.C., forget about it. You're not going to be to buy a home in D.C. You're not going to purchase a home in D.C. Oh, they got some. Okay. I'm surprised a little bit. Let me see. You know what? Let's go Southeast. Let's go Southeast D.C., which is the hood. Okay. Berry Farm. Okay, look. This right here. This is okay for $599.99, $600,000. You get a pretty big home, 2,592 square feet, 3 beds, 4 baths. But you're right there by Berry Farm in DC. You're in the ghetto. You won't even know it until you look at it. That's why when you see the pictures, they're not showing you the outside. New construction, yeah, they tore down some projects and put them houses right there. That's called gentrification. You're gonna be right there in the middle of some stuff. Bendon Road, Anacostia, Berry Farm, a very bad area. You're gonna live right there for $600,000 US. So then when they say, hey, check it out. When we made a certain amount of money back then, and we got things are way different than they were back in the day. Way different. 100% different. I don't want to make it be ABL realty right now, so I'll move along. Oh, Hawaii, I'm gonna show Hawaii, then I move along. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. I know Hawaii is going to be crazy. Forget about it. That's not even really a fair thing to show. Okay, Honolulu, I mean, forget about it. You're going to be roach infested and expensive in Hawaii. It is what it is. I know about Hawaii. Okay, this is like, what, a townhouse type situation? Look at this. It's like a motel. You can live in the motel for $550,000. 3 bed, 2 bath, 966 square feet, not even 1,000 square feet. You're living in a motel. Look at this. A motel. That's crazy. With bars on the window again, security doors. That's crazy. That's totally crazy. Honolulu in a motel looking like Jordan Downs in Los Angeles, looking like projects. You're going to live right there for that amount of money. But again, I mean, it's Hawaii, I understand. But yeah, the prices of homes nowadays are really inflated. Joe Biden says that it's not really a problem. If it's not a problem, I can't tell. All right. Now, let's keep on going here. My man right here is talking about going to the grocery store and how it's kind of a stressful experience. How are they affording a house for $1.5 million? Man, guys are doing all types of stuff. People are getting married, 2 incomes, both people working, going hard, barely seeing the kids, scamming. There's a lot of scamming going on. The scamming right now it's at an all-time high. It doesn't matter what color you are. Everybody's scamming. Everybody's trying to do something to get a leg up in this society and this economy. It's crazy. All right. Detroit, Michigan. I could do that all day. I might do a stream just about real estate and show some of that stuff, but I don't want to spend too much time. Oh, Oregon. I already know about Oregon, Geo Smuckers. We look at Bend, Oregon quite a bit. Specifically Bend. The prices are out of control. Already know. And anywhere, I put it to you this way, anywhere where Californians are moving, shout out to you guys who live in California. You guys are great. But anywhere where Californians are moving, you're going to have really high prices. They go to Nashville and make the prices of the houses go over there. Because if you have a house in California and you can sell it, you could live in the ghetto in Los Angeles, sell your home for $500,000, $600,000, take that money and go to Nashville and buy whatever you want in cash. People that live out here can't really do that the same way. It's just, there needs to be some kind of limit on that. It's like there should be a limit on foreign investment. It should be a limit on out-of-state investment because it's becoming a problem. All right. Yeah, you want to come to the South? Come on down South. Hold on. Before I move on, I'm sorry for the Zillow stuff, the Zillow takeover, but just really quickly, if you want to come down South, I recommend it. I'm going to show you what's happening out here. Hold on. Like, let's look at maybe like Arlington, Texas, like Dallas area. Let's look at Arlington, Texas, right? Okay. It's getting kind of high out there too. That might be kind of a bad location, Arlington. I might want to do just Dallas. Dallas. Not saying not Austin. That's going to be crazy out there because that's pretty much California. That's California part 2. Okay. So Now, here is a more reasonable place. This is like a townhouse type situation, but it's probably going to be in a beautiful neighborhood. All right. And it's new construction, $569 for a 2-3, 1,500 square foot in a nice neighborhood, $569. It's still high. Try to find a home right now for below $400,000 in the city. If you want to go below $400,000, you're going to live in the middle of nowhere. Your commute going to be crazy. You're going to have to ride a helicopter to work. It's crazy. South, north, wherever. And you go to the more liberal areas, you're going to pay your arm and a leg plus your firstborn child. But anyway, let's go to the grocery store. Is that going to be a stressful experience? Check it out.
Heading into the grocery store today, and I was just like stressing over the fact that I was going to have to spend like $80 on groceries, right? Because that's a lot of money to spend for one person for 1 week of food. You know, theoretically, it really shouldn't cost more than $50 for one person for a week. But it's just impossible. And I was stressing because I really didn't want to spend $80 on groceries for 1 week. And so I was just like irritated about that. And I was trying to give myself a pep talk. Like,
now I got a question. Is $80 in a week a lot for groceries? Let me know. For 7 days in the week, is $80 a lot of money? Because at the end of the day, that's a little more than $10 a day for your food. Is that a lot of money? Y'all let me know.
Like, it'll be okay. It'll be fine. Like, it's not gonna be a big deal. And I'm so relieved to announce that after, you know, grocery shopping exclusively store brand stuff and only buying 2 bags worth of groceries, I spent $116 for the week for one person. I was heading into the grocery.
So he really spent 116. He was dreading having to spend 80, but he wound up spending 116. And he does not have red hair. He has on a hat. It's kind of like a distressed hat. Hopefully he's not just going through some things and having to wear disheveled clothing. It's probably just a fashionable item. But 116 for the week. Is that a lot of money? What do you think? What counts as a lot of money for one person to eat throughout the week? And we're going to count eating out. We're going to count groceries. Anything that you consume that you pay for in the week. What is a lot of money? You guys let me know. Is it $100, $200? What is it? Y'all let me know. 80 a week is cheap. 200 a week for me and my granddaughter. That seems about right. Yeah, if you're single, exactly. One person. Let's say she pays anywhere between $198 and $380 per week. Well, you got the youngins and yourself. So I presume that's going to be a lot more. Now, me, I probably could spend maybe about $100 per week. But I do a lot of stuff. I go like pick up a lot of food. I get sushi. And then I also only eat 1 meal a day. So I don't eat a whole lot of food. Well, I eat enough for me, but I'm not eating a variety of different meals throughout the day. Okay. The most I might do in the morning is like a kind bar, maybe. If I do that, and then my meal, I eat right around 3 o'clock. So like today I had a lamb burger from Tzatziki's. And that was like $15, I think, right around that. But that was it. I got my water and then I'm good. So if you're eating multiple meals a day and you're going out, you're going to spend a lot of money. Yeah, that's the key. When I go to the grocery store, what I would get is stuff. If I cook, what I get is stuff like chicken thighs, fish. I have food in the freezer right now. I got fish. I got wild caught salmon, chicken thighs, things of this nature. A pack of chicken thighs from Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, wherever I go, it's like $10. And out of that, I might be able to get 2 to 3 meals, maybe for myself. So, and then you got to have like something to go with it. You might want to have like a vegetable, some green vegetables or some rice or something like that. It adds up. It most certainly adds up. All right, let's keep on going here. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, I got a video from the Whatever podcast. I normally would never show these people because you know what the Whatever podcast is? Just briefly, I'm not going to hate on Whatever. I'm not going to hate on these guys. But the Whatever podcast, if you've never seen it, it's the OnlyFans podcast. And let me explain. What happens is you have track con guys like Charlie Kirk and more people, Michael Knowles. They'll go on there and they'll say things about the girls that do OnlyFans and stuff like that. It's like, okay, he dunked on it. He really did it. But all that they do really is promote the girls, and guys subscribe to their OnlyFans pages. So people say that it's like a counterculture type of message for guys to go on there and say things that really kind of attack these girls, but really all they do is promote them to the very same guys that they're trying to save them from. Now, the reason why I'm playing this clip right here is not because of that. It's because of her talk about Iran. And please, my men, stay focused. Don't focus below her neckline. Look at the clown makeup.
In Iran, women will get arrested, killed, attacked, beat just for showing their hair. To me, that is oppression.
That's not scientific evidence of oppression. The scientific evidence,
that's factual evidence.
It's factual.
You don't need to do any scientific study to know that if you go to the Middle East, you may not even live a day just dressed how you are right now. In America, you can walk to a bar alone at night, get drunk, and get home safe. Yes, that's not the safest thing to do, but even the fact that you have the capability of doing that shows that women are free and not oppressed.
That's all facts. That is all facts. You go to Iran dressed like that, man, look, anywhere Middle East, like in the Orthodox places, dressed like that, man, you getting deleted immediately. Not saying that shit happened, not at all. I don't condone that. But the whole point is, you free over here in the States. I don't see how anybody can say that they're not free in the States. Okay, you're definitely free over here. We have freedom. You don't have that over there. Okay, now I don't know what she's talking about, scientific evidence, like what kind of bird brain response. But that's the kind of women you're dealing with on the OnlyFans, on the whatever podcast. You're not dealing with the smart women like Candace Owens and everybody else. You're not dealing with them. They have the people that are on there kind of bird brain just to have, it makes for good ratings and views and clicks. Not hating. And the same thing with Fresh and Fit. Fresh and Fit is like whatever is the white version of Fresh and Fit. I always say that. It's the same thing. It's the same thing as Fresh and Fit. Fresh and Fit, you're dealing with more urban, Black, Hispanic type audience. And then whatever, it's the more white, Asian type of audience. But it's the same concept. It's just a different target audience. But overall, it's the same thing. But shout out to them. Shout out to them. I'm not really a fan of the show necessarily, but they have some good clips occasionally. Now, speaking about social media and things of this nature, there's going to be a Hulu series about Black Twitter. Okay, a Hulu series. They're going to put it on television, put it on Hulu about Black Twitter. Now, I've not seen this particular trailer yet, but I want to watch it. And the clown makeup, the person I showed on the screen, the woman, she is a part-time clown for a profession. And guess what else she does? I ain't going to put two and two together, but you understand what's going on. You already see what's happening. All the girls on, you can pretty much guess what they do. Okay, yeah, I'm in school. I go to UC Berkeley, but I also have this page with X amount of subscribers on it, and subscribe to my page. That's what they do, but I'm getting off topic. So Black Twitter. Now, what I want to see, you know what? Somebody had a caption. It was a great caption. They were like, this is going to be produced by the white man, and it's going to be featuring some 5,000-pound LGBTQ LMNOP person as the focus. Okay. I want to see what they're going to do as far as this whole thing right here.
You know you're
okay. Let's watch. I want to cringe.
You know you're Black when
Thanksgiving clap. Black girls are magic.
Meet me in Temecula. Hashtag Dem Thrones. People were like, where is Black Twitter?
White folks talk about Black Twitter like it's Wakanda.
Wanna get down?
Let's go.
See, already I'm seeing a dude with a big pink shirt on, so I already know kind of what's happening.
Let's go.
So these are the names that they have. Okay. All liberal people. Rembert Brown. Oh yeah, I know who that is. Amanda Seals, Kamal Bell, Van Lathan, Jamel Hill. Ugh. Yeah, Lovey. All these people. Bunch of leftists, bunch of liberal people. A white guy in there for some reason, randomly. Yeah, all liberal people. That's what they think Black Twitter is. So if you don't subscribe to the liberal leftist narrative, you ain't black. That's the message I already got from that. That's kind of how it is. People may say it's like segregation, but really it's funny because even within the community, there's segregation. If you're not part of the LGBTQ element of P, or you don't think trans women are women, then you're not necessarily considered black. It's the weirdest thing in the world. It is the strangest thing in the entire universe. Now I want to show something else. This guy right here, I've never seen pandering to such extent. The guy I'm going to show you right now would be the kind of guy who would be featured on the Black Twitter documentary because of his particular narrative. Okay. Now, there was a stream with Tyson and Drewski. If you don't know what they are, it doesn't really matter. It was like a blind dating show. So they're on the stream. He's a really big streamer, but they're both pretty big on the internets. Drewski, he's blindfolded, and there's a girl in front of him. He can't see her. And then he removes the blindfold, and he's kind of hesitant to say anything or to approach her because he's not really sure if it's a man or a woman. He's kind of like, what's going on here? Now, people are calling him transphobic. It's like, hey, I didn't know that if you, as a man, weren't gay, that made you transphobic. Hey, if you don't want to talk to this person who you think could be a man, that means you're transphobic. What? So let's watch what my man says right here. We got to watch it, please.
Had a little incident with Drewski being on Castanet's show and them being like transphobic to a non-trans woman is one of the reasons why I'm such a staunch advocate against people just being able to exist how they show up, and one of the reasons why I talk about misogynoir and about heteronormativity so much.
Make a note words. There are so many words right there that aren't really words. First of all, the person he thought was a transformer was not a transformer. She just kind of had a bunch of makeup and stuff on that made her look kind of questionable. If I was him, I'd be kind of like, is that a man? I've actually asked a woman if she was born a woman before, and then she said, yeah, and she got offended. But it's like, I'm sorry. The way things are nowadays, you got to ask. If you go to Atlanta and you are out here talking to people, you never know. Can I tell a story right quick about the beach? Before we get to the whole thing about the beach, I'm going to let him finish giving his $15 words that mean nothing. One time I went to the beach. I'm very young. I'm like a teenager. I got to be 19, 20. I'm on the strip, just walking like everybody else, minding my business. And then a young ABL spots a pretty young lady. I see her from the back. She looked great. This is like right around the Nelly time, and apple bottom jeans are the crave. And this person had on a nice pair of jeans. Everything looked right from the back. So me, just trying to be a little brave. I'm like, hey, how are you doing? What's your name? From the back. The person turns around. Man, I'm tired of all these guys trying to talk to me on the beach when I'm minding my business. I'm like, I'm sorry, sir. I apologize. Sir. I didn't know what was going on. His voice was deeper than my voice. But the point is, I was tricked. I was bamboozled. So if that has been your experience and you've been fooled by a transformer in real life, maybe, just maybe, when you see some signs of someone exhibiting some transgender-ish characteristics, you're a little bit cautious. And sometimes it might be a real woman. It might be a real woman, and then they get offended. But I apologize because I'm scarred. I saw this man in a pair of apple bottom jeans on the beach, and I thought it was a woman, and I was trying to holler at this dude. I didn't know. I swear. Hey, yo, look, don't judge me. I didn't know. Okay? I didn't see the person from the front. I only saw from the back. So, hey, am I gay for that? I'm not gay for that. Anyway, let's get back to my man talking about why it's transphobic for a man to be suspicious about a woman who is not actually a transgender.
Because I recognize the way that black women get depicted in media is always a way to kind of attack their femininity or make it like they ain't woman enough. We live in a climate that's demonized the trans identity so much that you literally have individuals that's in fear and paranoia of the potentiality of somebody being trans. That's crazy to me. Which brings me to a point. There was this trans man that just got his life taken away from him in Atlanta, named, I think they called him Chevy. And I recognize that it's something about being black and trans that make y'all always jump to these old boogeyman, grandiose type of actions. Maybe it's your first time seeing one of my videos, but my motto is, if some of us ain't free, then none of us ain't free. And this also goes towards black trans people.
What are you saying? He said nothing right there. Basically, the whole thing was the guy thought that a real woman was an actual transformer and he was mistaken. And he's offended that the guy was mistaken. It's like, I made a mistake. What you want me to do? Like, I thought the dude was really a woman. I made a mistake. And I might think a woman is really a dude that made a mistake. So why is it got to be all this stuff about you're transphobic? He said all of that within that 1 minute clip to say that the guy was wrong for assuming that a real woman was a transformer. So dumb. But that's kind of what you get happening in this world with all these people. All this stuff. It makes no sense. We live in a confusing place. Now, speaking about dumb people, confusing people, here's a good video, a feel-good video. A man on the street interview. Shout out to my man, David Harris Jr. for posting it. A man on the street interview, and they're asking people, who are the dumbest in our government? Check it out.
Who is the dumbest person in our government? Probably Kamala Harris. I don't like her very much.
Well, there's a long list. Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi. List goes on.
Well, I don't really feel like Joe Biden has that many brain cells, to be honest, so probably Joe Biden.
No.
Who's the dumbest person in our government?
Joe Biden, by far.
President Joe Biden and Vice President Harris, or whatever her name is.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
No, you're right.
So yeah, shout out to them. I'm not really sure where they are, but shout out to them. You know, they give me hope for the future, for sure. They give me absolute hope for the future. All right.
The dumbest.
Now let's keep on rocking and rolling. Do I want to show this one? Hold on. I kind of want to show. Yeah, I want to show Kamala. Then we're going to get to this one. So y'all give me a second. All right. Let's show. Speaking about Kamala Harris, let's show this.
Why not do it by executive order?
The American people deserve leadership that's about fixing problems. And that's why he's going to lose in November.
Why not do it by executive order?
The American people deserve leadership that's about fixing problems. And that's why he's going to lose in November.
I mean, does she know how to speak? Because you need to frame your responses in context because it can get clipped. Because when you say something like, he's going to lose in November, they may think you're referring to who you were just speaking about in that same sentence, speaking about Joe Biden. I guess you want a guy that can solve problems. So if he can solve problems to lose in November, I mean, a moron, the vice president, again, if Joe Biden decides to just not get out to bed next morning, you know what? I'm finished. I'm going to just lay right here. I'm not doing nothing. She is next in line. That's terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying. This administration is bad. You got your man, what's your man, Lloyd Austin, 6th in line of succession with cancer. This lady right here is a few brain cells short of an entire 64 count crayon box. I mean, she's just not really all the way there. Now, I got one more from Miss Kamala.
Because when we think about the strength of our democracy, you know, I think that there's a duality to the nature of democracy. When it's intact, oh, it's so strong in terms of what it does to uphold and protect individual rights and freedoms. So strong in its nature. And it is very fragile.
Huh?
It will only be as strong as our willingness to fight for it. Because
okay, did anybody catch that? Did anybody understand what was going on there? I'm kind of lost. I'm lost for words. I want you guys to let me know if that made any sense. I'm not sure when this was recorded. It might be kind of an older video, but the one I just showed you was pretty new. So I don't really see a lot of growth in her ability to speak and make any kind of sense. So what did you guys gain from that? I don't think I really gained a whole lot from that. What was that? I have no idea. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, we're going to talk about the State of the Union address a little bit, and there's quite a bit that happened there. Let's hear from Trump because, of course, we know about Laken Riley. We know that Biden was called out about Laken Riley. And if you guys don't know, or you want a quick refresher, Laken Riley was a 22-year-old woman who was killed on the UGA campus in Athens, Georgia by an illegal alien, not an asylum seeker, not a dreamer, an illegal alien. He crossed the border illegally in El Paso, Texas. He was allowed to remain in the country under the Biden administration because they were, at the time, overwhelmed at the border. They had too many border crossings, so they just let him go into the border, into the country. Go ahead and go in. You're illegal. It's fine. He went from El Paso to New York, committed crime up there, allegedly, and was let out, no bail. He found his way down to Athens, Georgia, which basically is a sanctuary city, although they deny it, meaning the mayor denies it, Kelly Gertz. He goes down to Athens, Georgia, where he winds up killing 22-year-old Laken Riley, who was a nursing student at nearby Augusta University. And she was a alumni of UGA. Now, during the State of the Union address, Biden was called out, and he called her Lincoln Riley rather than Laken Riley. And then he said more about her, but I want to show, actually, you know what I want to do? I want to show what he said when he went on MS-13 DNC with Jonathan Capehart. And this guy right here, Jonathan Capehart, is the same guy who was crying on TV about January 6th when Michael Fanone was on there. But let's just watch this, and then we're going to see what Trump says.
But during your response to her heckling of you, you used the word illegal when talking about the man who allegedly killed Laken Riley.
An undocumented person. And I shouldn't have used illegal. It's undocumented. And look, when I spoke about the difference between Trump and me, one of the things I talked about on the border was that the way he talks about vermin, the way he talks about these people polluting the blood. I talked about what I'm not going to do, what I won't do. I'm not going to treat any of these people with disrespect. Look, they built the country. The reason our economy is growing. We have to control the border and more orderly flow, but I don't share his view at all.
So you regret using that word?
Yes.
But during...
So, look, I'm sorry for calling this illegal alien who killed an American citizen an illegal. I should have said undocumented, and I regret using the word illegal. So basically, this whole thing right here, this was a way to allow Biden to correct what he said during the State of the Union address. That's what this was. Mainstream media is embarrassing. It is state media. This is why alternative media, like myself and many others, are thriving, because we are not state media. State media sucks. We don't want to go back to that, but that's where we are right now. They literally gave him a platform to correct himself. Now, if it was Trump, they would do no such thing. They would do no such thing. They would just keep hammering the point if Trump said it. With Biden, they allow him to, quote unquote, correct it and then move forward. That's what they do. All right. So, yeah, that's him talking about it. Now, let's hear from Trump.
When I say he was an illegal alien, he was an illegal immigrant, he was an illegal migrant, and he shouldn't have been in our country, and he never would have been under the Trump policy.
Packed house. So we have Laken Riley pictures in the crowd. Say her name.
And Biden should be apologizing to this killer. When I say he was...
And he really should be apologizing, because what are you apologizing for? What he said was correct. He's an illegal. He's here illegally, 100%. Not a migrant, just, asylum seeker, dreamer, nothing like that. He was and is an illegal alien. It's just that simple. Now, let's kind of go back a little bit. It's 1995, okay? Almost 30 years ago. Can you believe 1995? 29 years ago when Slick Willie was in office. Now, back then, Democrats were different. They've changed. I wonder what changed. I wonder why we went from the Slick Willie, even Barack Obama. Why were they hard on the border? And why have they become so soft on it now? Let's go ahead and watch this.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country.
This is Bill Clinton, 1995 State of the Union. Okay. We got Al Gore behind him. Now, who was Speaker of the House right there? Was that Newt Gingrich? Y'all, if I'm wrong, please correct me. Let's start from the top so you get the full context.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace, as recommended by the commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
Can I pause right here? What he said right there, if he said it today, he would be considered a 100% stone cold stomp down racist. This is a Democrat saying this in the House chamber, in the congressional chamber. He's getting a round of applause, bipartisan support. Everybody's on board. Everybody's on board with it. And I want to say one thing. This was 29 years ago. Some people in that room are still in that same room right now today. Term limits. And even back then, it was an old folks home. All right. So what changed between 1995 and 2024 with Democrats and their policy on the border? What's the difference? I don't understand. He sounded great right there. I'll put it to you this way. Without all the Epstein stuff, without all the Arkansas stuff, without all that stuff, if Bill Clinton was to run today, I'd vote for him. If Bill Clinton from 1995 was to run today, I would vote for him. Now, obviously, he's not going to run today. Obviously, if he did run, he would not have that same point of view. Obviously, any Democrat is a far and away difference from 1995. So I can't vote for any Democrat now. But what he said right there was right on point. It was right on point. Now let's keep on going here. Let's go to current day, 2024. Your man Joe Biden talking about July the 6th rather than January 6th.
Last night in the U.S. Capitol, the same building where our freedoms came under assault on July the 6th.
July 6th. There we go. Okay. Is that a gaffe, or is that pretty much what he does all the time? That's pretty much what he does all the time. All right, let's keep on going here. There is more. Here is the quiet part being said out loud.
Unlike Donald Trump, on my first day in office as president, I introduced a comprehensive plan to fix our immigration system, secure our border, provide a pathway for citizens, for dreamers and their families, farm workers, essential workers who helped us through the pandemic and are part of the fabric of our community. Unlike Donald Trump, on my first day in office as president, I introduced a comprehensive plan to fix our immigration system, secure our border, provide a pathway for citizens, for dreamers.
That's the ultimate goal here. And this chin, I don't know what's happening with that chin. Like, how did you transform from a block to like a separate type situation? I don't want to say what it resembles, which I already know what's going on. But yeah, that's the ultimate goal. You know, trying to have a bill why do we need a border bill when everything was fine before you came into office? We don't need a border bill. We need you to enforce laws that are already on the books. That's what we need. Now, Tucker Carlson responded to the State of the Union address. He responded, and he has a few things he wanted to say. I'm not really going to go through too much of the State of the Union address. We've already pretty much seen it. I'm going to show a couple of clips and then keep it moving. What I really want to do is talk about Katie Britt. I really want to get there, but let's hear from Tucker Carlson first to see what he has to say.
Good evening and welcome to the Tucker Carlson Network live. Well, that was quite an experience watching that. You know, you think of Joe Biden as a doddering old man, a guy who can't remember when his son died or when he served as vice president. And of course, that's exactly who he is, and it's on display every day. But Joe Biden is also a cruel and vicious demagogue, a man who has no problem at all denouncing his fellow Americans or putting his political opponents in prison as he has done. And that was all on display tonight. That was possibly the darkest, most un-American speech ever given by an American president. In fact, it wasn't a speech. It was a rant, entirely lacking in decency or generosity to his fellow Americans. Good evening and
so there you go. That's your man Tucker Carlson responding. Shout out to him. And let's keep on going here. Let's look at a few clips from it. Then we're going to get into Katie Britt. Oh, we got to get into Katie Britt. But a few clips from the State of the Union address, just briefly.
And with all due respect, justices, women are not without electoral power. Electoral or political power. You're about to realize just how much you're right about that.
Very divisive. I showed you the clip from Bill Clinton, 1995, more unifying, even for Bill Clinton. This was very divisive, you know, attacking the Supreme Court justices because they didn't do what he wanted them to do. You know, last I checked, they were an independent body. They're not part of the executive branch. They do their own thing. They do their job. You do your job. Let's not interfere. Okay. Now let's get to some more here. Here's the whole shrinkflation thing. This is a dumb thing to even talk about. After I play this video, I'm going to talk about shrinkflation.
Commercial on Snickers bars. You get charged the same amount, and you got about 10% fewer Snickers in it. Look, I'm also getting rid of junk fees. Those hidden fees at the end of your bill. The commercial on Snickers bars. You get charged the same amount, and you got about 10% fewer Snickers in it.
But you know what that's about. I mean, look, without shrinkflation, you have inflation. So you're going to have either one. He talks about how inflation is going down, but at the same time complains about shrinkflation. So how can inflation be going down while there's still an issue with shrinkflation, and you want to try to pass a rule that companies can't do that? If you pass some legislation that says companies cannot, like, I don't know how you do that. How do you really, you can't force a company to charge a certain amount. So how are you going to do that? How are you going to say a company can't reduce the size of an item and charge you the same thing? It's the same thing as charging more for the same size of the item. So it's just kind of dumb. You acknowledge that inflation is still happening because companies are doing the shrinkflation to hide it. Rather than raising the price of a thing, they just give you less of it, a little bit less of it in an unnoticeable way. Yeah, really, I think it's a good thing, to be totally frank, especially since we got all this obesity going on. I would rather not pay. I would rather have the serving sizes of things go down and the price go down. But because we have inflation, of course, that can't happen. So I think reducing the size of things is good because we got too much obesity going on. Some of our packages, like a bag of chips, be like this big. It's like, come on, can we cut it down a little bit? We can actually improve food and the serving sizes and whatnot in this country, but that's a separate conversation away from the inflation situation. Inflation is being caused by Joe Biden and his policies and his administration. That is what's fueling the fire. Although he'll say it's not a problem, it is a problem. He even admits it by complaining about shrinkflation. Now, here we go talking about the economy being the envy of the world.
I inherited
Somebody said it, Dr. Rockster, FAT tax, hilarious. Shout out to you for that one. Good. I'm gonna use that one.
My inherited economy is on the brink. Now our economy is literally the envy of the world. 15 million new jobs in just 3 years. A record. A record. My inherited economy is on the brink. Now our economy is literally the envy of the world. 15 million new jobs in just 3 years.
So one thing about Joe, throughout the entire thing, he was making faces like this. You know, the yelling and whatnot. It's like nothing he said during the actual speech called for all this screaming and hollering and carrying on. What did you say that was so impactful, sir, to make all these crazy yelling faces? It wasn't that serious. You could just talk normally, you know, use your inside voice. Now, Katie Britt, can we please talk about Katie Britt? Listen, okay. One thing I want to say about Katie Britt, I think that what she was talking about, her overall message was a good message, okay? Her overall message was a good message, but it was just a very unnatural thing. Now, Alabama.com, I'm not quite sure if they really like conservatives too much. I don't really know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But what they did was do a before and after of her speech when she was just promoting that she was going to do the reaction to what she actually did. Now, if you guys don't know, Katie Britt is a senator from Alabama, and she did the response to Joe Biden's State of the Union address, you know, the GOP response. And one thing about Katie Britt and everybody else, normally these responses don't go very well. Before I even show Katie Britt, I want to show one of the worst responses or one of the most response moments. Now, one thing about these people, I don't know why they're never hydrated. It's like, are you drinking too much coffee? Like, what is the problem?
On foreign policy?
Because Marco, it was like he never had water before in his life. Please be hydrated. Eat foods that hydrate you because you don't want to be down bad like this. Now, take a look.
On foreign policy, America continues to be indispensable to the goal of global liberty, property, and safeguarding human rights. The world is a better place when America is the strongest nation on earth. But we can't remain powerful if we don't have an economy that can afford it. In the short time that I've been here in Washington, nothing has frustrated me more than false choices like the one the president laid out tonight.
Yo, the craziest moment ever. This was 2011, or was it 2013? Yeah, 2013. Okay, this was after Obama gave a State of the Union address. Marco Rubio was able to go up to and give his response. That was a crazy moment because he maintained eye contact with the camera
tonight.
Like when he was in this, hold on.
Out tonight.
I can't pause it at a certain point when he did the eye contact, but it was crazy. It was nuts. That was one of the worst moments. That was 2013. Now, I don't think Katie Britt can top that. She did not have a dehydrated moment, although it was at the very beginning, it was kind of shaky. It was a little shaky. I was hearing a little bit of dryness in her voice at the very beginning. Let's watch some of this, then I'm going to show you the comparison.
Good evening, America.
Okay, let's go back a little bit. Check this out.
Good evening, America. My name is Katie Britt, and I have the honor of serving the people of the great state of Alabama in the United States Senate. However, that's not the job that matters most. I am a proud wife and mom of 2 school-aged kids.
I was hearing it a little bit right there, a little bit, because I talk a lot and I hear others speak quite a bit and I listen for little signs of dehydration. But again, you got to just make sure you're not drinking things and eating things throughout the day that dehydrates you. Coffee, that's one of the main ones. It makes you urinate, go to the bathroom, and that's going to remove a lot of your body water. You don't want to do that if you got to go speak because that'll just make you be, anybody trying to hear all that. Now, let me go to the comparison. I'm not going to play that entire thing. It's like 17 minutes. Let me just play the comparison so you can see how she was sounding.
I am looking forward to delivering the Republican response to the State of the Union, so tune in. President Biden's border policies are a disgrace. This crisis is despicable, And the truth is, it is almost entirely preventable. And thank you to all the gentlemen behind me who continue to work diligently to actually secure our border. That's what the American people deserve. But unfortunately, Joe Biden refuses to give that to them.
Now, what you're hearing right now, if you listen to the audio only, you're hearing the comparison of how she would normally speak versus how she spoke during the State of the Union response.
Mr. President, enough is enough. Innocent Americans are dying, and you only have yourself to blame. Everything that we put forth that would actually secure and close the border, the Democrats don't want. This is yet another prong of the failed Bidenomics. This is the definition of America last. The American people.
She sounded much better during the news hits and whatnot. Much better.
People are scraping by, while President Biden proudly proclaims that Bidenomics is working. Goodness, y'all. Bless his heart.
Yeah, that right there was the most cringe moment. To bless his heart. Oh, cringe. You plan on the whole Alabama thing. Oh, Alabama, bless his heart. So cringe. Again, the content of her message was on point. What she was talking about, what she was saying was on point. The delivery was way over the top. I know you want to be a little bit impactful, right, in your talk. A little bit impactful. But she was doing way too much. Way too much. And that, bless his heart, cringe. Again, her normal voice would have been fine. Maybe a little bit more inflection for this purpose of doing the response. But she just turned it to 10. If there was a knob of turning it up a little bit for the response from 0 to 100, she went to 115. Just too much. So yeah. Her good message was overshadowed by the dramatics, unfortunately. So yeah, shout out to her. Santo Bartez says, when the box wine hits too early, yeah, that might be it. That might be it, for sure. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think at a certain point we need to stop doing these responses because they're usually always bad. There's rarely ever a good one. Sometimes they are, but it's rarely a middle ground. Either it's good or bad. And if it's bad, it's real bad. All right. Just Joe says that was not impactful. It was just, I ain't gonna say that word because they're gonna kick me off YouTube. It wasn't good. It was the R word. The Southern polite put down. Yeah. But it's just when you say it, I don't know. It's like you're a millennial trying to imitate a Meemaw. I just don't understand. It's weird. How old is she anyway? Katie, Britt, age. Oh, she's my age. She's like 42. She looks pretty good for her age. Yeah, I would never have thought she was like 35 or so. She looks pretty good for her age. Shout out to her. Now, I want to go to this issue right here. I want to go to the Miami. I want to go to Miami. Wait a minute. I gotta go to Miami. And the whole breakup video. Oh man, this was cringe.
Hey.
Now.
Hey. We need.
Wait. Before I play it, I want to find something else here. Hold on. Cause I gotta find some videos to kind of corroborate it. All right. Okay, there's an NBC News clip. All right.
From this,
we're gonna show that afterward. I've not seen an NBC News clip. So this was really what I wanted to do. When I saw this, I had to really do it because it really hit home for me. All right, so we know we got spring break upon us. And if you're living in the beach place, if you're living in Miami, if you're living in Virginia Beach, you live in anywhere like that. Hold on, matter of fact, I got a better clip I can play. You live in anywhere like that, you know that spring break is a problem and you're going to have miscreants that come from all over the country. And Miami Beach wants to try and stop it. So let's watch this breakup video that Miami Beach put out. Then we're going to get into the nitty gritty of why they put this out and what's happening.
Hey, we need to talk.
This isn't working anymore.
And it's not us. It's you. We just want different things.
Our idea of a good time is relaxing on the beach.
hitting up a spa,
or checking out a new restaurant.
You just want to get drunk in public and ignore laws.
Do you even remember what happened last March?
So what they're doing right now, they're just showing a bunch of headlines from violence that happened during spring break last March in Miami.
That was our breaking point, so we're breaking up with you.
And don't try to apologize and come crawling back. This isn't safe, so we're done.
And just so you know, we're serious.
This March, you can expect things like curfews, bag checks, and restricted beach access.
DUI checkpoints, $100 parking, and strong police enforcement for drug possession and violence.
Whatever it takes, because it's time to move on.
Maybe we can talk when you're done with your spring break phase, but until then.
Okay, so there's a lot I want to say. First of all, the issue that they have in Miami Beach, their problem that they want to fix is the young black teenagers that come from all over the country down on a beach on spring break. That's their problem that they have. That is not going to be the only problem. You're going to have other races do some stuff like this too, but that's their ultimate issue. But they didn't want to show it in this video, and they wanted to try and conceal it by using a bunch of Dominicans in the video for diversity's sake. These are all Dominicans in this video. I'm willing to bet all my money in my pocket right now that they were all in this video, Dominican, Cuban, some kind of Hispanic down in Miami, which ain't nothing but Cuba part 2. Miami ain't nothing but part of the Caribbean, really. You're going to see Dominicans, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, all the Hispanic islanders, and the Haitians right there. Now, they could have put some Haitians in the video, but then that'd have been a little bit too much on the button because they're talking about kids that look like me that are between the ages of 18 and 24-ish. They don't want them to come down the beach. Now, you go to other beaches across the nation, you're going to have other groups acting the fool, Panama City Beach, Destin, Florida, etc. Me being from Virginia Beach, and I know this story very well. Let me tell you guys a little bit about me. Now, back when I was a graphic designer, I used to work for College Beach Weekend. Not work for them as an employee, but what I would do, I do their flyers, I do their promotional material. And as a result of talking to them, I would be able to be in the room when they're discussing, hey, how can we keep the miscreants away from the beach on spring break? Virginia Beach, the mayor, the police, everybody does not want them there. I manage their Facebook page too, and I can see the comments. Hey, when are you guys coming? We got to get ready. We're a local business. When are you guys? Is it going to happen? And the main thing that I heard from the organizers of College Beach Weekend in Virginia is the kids are going to come regardless. You can put out these little videos and whatnot. They're going to come regardless. All you can do is be ready for them. They're going to be there. Spring break always happens. The kids are always going to be there. What are you going to do to prevent any kind of lawlessness from happening? One thing, you got to have a really high police presence. Have them on down the beach in Virginia. You got them on the horses. You got them in the cars. You got helicopters. You got to do what you got to do. Definitely no horse cops and the patrol cops, scarecrow cop cars. You got to have all of that going on. You got to crack down on the weed smoking. See, that's why I talk about weed, because y'all don't really get it. Maybe you guys understand about these kind of places. I know when you have just open weed smoking and things of this nature, it's going to attract problems. So when you're on the beach, ain't gonna be no open weed smoking or drinking on the boardwalk or on the sand. That ain't going on. They're going to crack down on all that stuff because you're going to attract problems. When I used to go on the beach as a teenager, if I was to post up somewhere, stand there too long, you would get told to move by the police, because if you stand somewhere too long, that starts fights. I know how these things go. What you can do, have events planned for these kids so they can be herded into a place rather than just going down the beach, nothing to do specifically, and they just act a fool. Okay, there's no party to go to. There's no event. There's no thing to really get into. What are we going to do? Okay, we come from Chicago, never been to a beach before ever. We used to playing in the snow, having snowball fights. We have never gone to the beach. We're going to bring glass containers on the boardwalk and go to the sand and smoke weed and all kind of dumb stuff you can't do. And that's going to cause problems. And since there's no party to go to, we're going to do that all night and cause a problem. What you can also do is you can also price them out. If you have cheap hotels and Airbnbs and things of this nature, it's easy for them to come. If the hotels are more expensive, they outlaw Airbnbs as they did in Miami. No Airbnbs in Miami Beach. And if they're going to have expensive hotels and expensive parking, that'll kind of weed it out too. If you're not doing anything like that, if you're not being proactive and you just let it happen and you put out little cringe videos with Dominicans in it talking about you're diverse, saying don't come to the beach, black kids. Now, let's see what they say here. Let's see what they say in this clip. All right. The title of this news clip says, an attempt to break up with spring breakers isn't stopping them from coming to Miami Beach. Exactly. Let's check it out.
Miami Beach, an attempt to break up with spring breakers isn't stopping them from coming.
Local 10's Samir Nefsi is live on South Beach with how things are looking tonight. Samir.
Nicole and Calvin, so definitely smaller crowds than years prior. Of course, one thing the city tried to implement this year was to break up with spring breakers, but that included beefing up security measures. We have officers across Ocean Drive right now, and some just congregated outside of what appears to be a nightclub. So the question remains, did the city break up with spring breakers?
We're like a toxic ex. You can't break up with us.
Toxic?
See, they don't want them. These guys right here, they don't want my cousins, my kinfolk, them coming down the beach. They don't want them coming. Now, let me just pause right here because I thought about something else. We're talking about the spring break. You're going to have 3 groups that I can think of right now, maybe 4 groups. You're going to have the regular college kids wearing their college T-shirts, and they're going to be just normie. They're not going to get involved in any kind of drama. Speaking about black kids specifically, because that's the focus in Miami. That's probably the problem in Miami. Now, if you go to Destin, Panama City, if you go somewhere else, it's a little bit different. But in Miami, the black kids is the problem. But they want to say that without saying it. You're going to have the college kids who are not going to be a problem. You're going to have the local people in Miami, the jits out there who may be a problem. You're going to have people that are not necessarily in college, but they're tourists that come from all over the country who may or may not be a problem. They could bring their local criminality with them, or they may not. And then who else could it be? Just people that are not going to be even involved with the black kids, other people with different cultures, white, Caribbean, maybe some Haitian, African. They're all going to be together, and you're going to have a clash of the cultures. It's going to be a clash. That's the ultimate problem. Now, let's see what my man right here says.
Toxic ex or not, spring breakers have piled into Miami Beach. As the sun went down and neon signs illuminated,
the spring breakers, they have a right to enjoy, but they don't have a right to destroy.
I think people just need to control themselves.
unnoticeable police presence vamped up along Ocean Drive, both on foot and cycle. The beefed up security comes following recent years where the city has racked up nearly 600 spring break arrests.
Dropped our son off at Fort Lauderdale, which was loaded with young people, but here it doesn't seem like there's, that many.
The talk of the town.
Curfews, bag checks, and restricted beach access.
DUI checkpoints, $100 parking.
The city's move to break up.
This isn't working anymore.
That video was so cringe.
With the breakers.
Miami has done a very, very good job of making sure, the safety procedures in place, but, you can't cancel us.
We ain't never breaking up. We staying together forever.
Saw something on social media. Somebody put out why not to come here for spring break. I saw that. I thought that was interesting.
As for parking.
Said, you know what? Since the $100 parking fee.
My man got the horse. There we go. Shout out to you bringing the horse from South Carolina.
Instead of walking, we're going to ride the horses.
All right, so as for those safety measures or beefed up safety measures, those will take place Thursday through Sunday, this weekend and next. We're live.
So, yeah, I mean, really, at the end of the day, they're trying to crack down on crime, and they're trying to really just target a certain demographic, the young people. And you can have, if you have an event where it's black folks on the beach and it's above 30, it won't be no problems at all. Because also in Virginia Beach, I know the two guys, and if you watch it, shout out to you. I don't want to say nobody's name. College Beach Weekend, which is like the youths, and then you have another event, Africana, that's going to be for your over 30. You never have a problem. You can go down there all day long. It'd be 10,000 black folks with no issues on the beach. but it's because you got the older crowd. The younger crowd of tourists is going to be the problem. And it's always the tourists. It's never the locals specifically. That the tourists come in and don't know how to behave. They come from their hometowns and act a fool. And I'll tell you some of the worst people to come to Virginia Beach when I was a kid. People that are uneducated from some of the southern places, Texas, some Texas, Floridians actually, some Florida guys come to Virginia, believe it or not. South Carolina, some Georgia, maybe like country parts, not Atlanta, but like outside. Also, but the absolute worst, New Yorkers. Oh my goodness, the absolute worst. And that goes for white, black, everybody. New York, New Jersey, awful. Attitude, arrogant, because they don't understand. A New Yorker does not understand. You can't just urinate wherever you want to urinate. You can't just, they're adversarial. And they try to be tough guys. Not all, but too many. They try to be tough guys and wind up getting deleted down there. You know, I know a guy that almost got deleted coming from up north. Think he's a big tough guy, got shot and got paralyzed. I know a guy that had happened to him. Nothing against him, not trying to hate on them, but that's kind of what happens. They try to be tough guys, like they're still in New York. Oh, I'm from Brooklyn, son. What's up? Man, nobody trying to hear that at all. That's like the worst thing. Even when I was a kid, that'd be the worst. When I was a kid, you would have the New York guys come to your school. I hate VA, man. It's slow. Okay, go back to New York. Go back to your projects and your roaches and your rats in Brooklyn. That'd be it's like that when they're on the beach too. And that causes conflicts, the cultural differences. New York guys and the down south guys, they don't get along. The Midwest guys, the California guys, they don't get along. That causes the friction. It's always a tourist. When we are in Virginia, left to our own devices without so many outside people, there's no problems. We live in a very high black area in Virginia, and we always go down the beach. There's never all these problems. There's never this big police presence and all this extra stuff. It's when the tourists come in. But the flip side is Virginia Beach and Myrtle Beach and Miami Beach, they're places built on tourism. So it's a double-edged sword. The problem is you want certain kinds of tourists to come in because they understand how to behave a little bit better. Typically, that's kind of what happens. So yeah, that's pretty much what that is. But yeah, the New Yorkers are the worst, absolute worst when they come to Virginia, to beach places. Anybody that comes from a cold climate down to the beach have no clue how to behave. Bringing glass containers and things of this nature is always a problem. Always. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Yeah, New York, you got to be tough to live in New York. I get it. You got to have that hard edge on you. But look, when you come down to North Carolina and Virginia, just relax. You're not in Brooklyn no more. Okay. You know, it's not that way. You could just kind of chill. There's no need to mean mug everybody. There's no need to be so aggressive and all that down south. You can just chill a little bit, right? OBX, Virginia Beach, is better than Virginia Beach. Yeah, I mean, me personally, I don't go to touristy places. You know, Outer Banks is cool. When I go back home to Virginia, I never would stay on the Oceanfront Hotel ever, or even the Airbnb on OBX. I would stay in downtown Norfolk. Like I said in my video, when I go back to Virginia, I will stay in downtown Norfolk and go to the beach during the daytime when it's cool. You could be down the beach, 17th Street, whatever, and hang out with the normies, with the families. It's totally fine. Now, when it comes nighttime, it changes. It's not necessarily dangerous, but it can be dangerous. And it's just not my kind of element. I'm going to go hang out. I'd rather hang out on Granby Street than the oceanfront at night. And the same thing with Miami. I would never stay in South Beach, anything like that in Miami. Never, ever. Okay, let me stay in Brickell. I can go get an Uber to the beach and hang out during the day, but I would never have my hotel right there on South Beach. Like that's ultimate touristy normie land. I'm good. That's like going to Disneyland. I'm straight on that. I'm good. And really in Virginia, you can go to a private beach. My dad had a house in Willoughby Spit in Norfolk, and he had a private beach in his backyard. Something like that is better versus going down 17th Street on Memorial Day weekend. Nah, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, I ain't rich. I know how to stay in Brickell without spending an arm and a leg. You can get a nice hotel right there by Brickell and be totally fine. Actually, it's cheaper to stay in Brickell than South Beach. You want to stay South Beach? Man, forget about it. That's going to be more expensive. That's going to be 100% more expensive. Man, no, I'm good on that. Now, shopping in Brickell is a little bit different. You want to go to that mall and all that good stuff? No, it's going to be a little different. It is going to be different. All right. Let me keep on rocking and rolling here. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Yo, oh yeah. And also, Zed's Cane Sword, he says, don't swim at Outer Banks. Greg O.P. Hughes took a number 2 bathroom break in the water. Nah, I don't swim in the water on the beach ever. I don't swim in the water on the beach. If you swim in the hotel pool. You don't swim in the water because you're going to have all kind of stuff in that water. Nah, I mean, I would not swim in the oceanfront water unless I was in a place where I knew it was cool. Like if I went to like an island, like a smaller place that had just a little bit less foot traffic. But Virginia Beach, man, please. OBX, nah. East Coast, Virginia, somewhere, swimming in the water, man, please. First of all, salt water, obviously. So you're gonna get all that in your body. It's a mess. Nah, you swim in the actual hotel pools. You got oceanfront hotels right there, right off the boardwalk. Swim in the hotel pools if you want to swim. Don't swim in the water. You don't do that. Nah, do not get in the water. I mean, you can if you like jellyfish and crabs and all kind of particulates is going to get in your body. That's fine. But we got super chats on deck. I'm going to get to those right quick. Then we're going to get to the calls. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. I ain't saying the Hialeah, Chris. I'm good on that. I'm going to stay right down Brickell. Yeah, I'm not going to South Beach, Miami Beach, none of that. I'm good. I'm not going to stay on the ocean front at all, ever. In no city I go to. Yeah, that's normie tourist stuff. If you're from, middle of nowhere and you've not been to a beach before, you can stay on the ocean front in Virginia. Just don't go out at night. You'll be fine. But me, I grew up on the beach. It's nothing to go to the beach. It's like I'm not impressed by beaches. So I will stay kind of inland and then go visit if I want to. All right. Boomhauer says, go to the ocean for the pools. Yes. Yes, absolutely. You go to the ocean. For me, I go to the ocean for just to be able to kind of be on the sand and experience the sunshine and all that good stuff. I don't go to get in the actual water. Nah, You go, if you want to swim, get in the pool. I mean, again, you can get in the water, but I don't recommend it. I mean, unless you're a surfer or something like that, what are you doing in the water? Nah, don't do it. And them jellyfish will tear you to pieces. But let's keep on rocking here. Shout out to you guys for the super chats. I got a few on deck. Thinking of Michael Critchlow says, how did you come up with, already read that one about, how did I come up with the time of the Wednesday and Saturday live stream? And have I considered going live at any other time of the day or the week? I thought about doing a daily show, but I'm not quite sure I have enough time for that. Shout out to, hold on. Shout out to Zedish's Cane Sword who says, sorry I've been away. I've been out in the boonies. Shout out to you. Thank you for coming on back to us. Shout out to David Wan who says, can you tell us how you changed the setting? Oh, I read that one already. About how to change it to stop midstream ads. Thank you to Apple who says, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Thoughts? Yeah. I'm not quite sure I like it. I want to actually see the fight to see how it goes. It could go one way or the other. It can wind up being bad or it can be good. I can't really tell at this point. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on here. Shout out to Apple again who said Mr. Biden's POTUS State of the Union address. Same old Democrat for sure. Thank you to Apple again who says Biden apologized for calling murderer illegal. Yep, play that one. Hey, I'm not a pawpaw, Charlie Church. I am an uncle. Let's get it right. I'm the unk. Shout out to Uncle ABL. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Matter of fact, that's a great time for a plug for Uncle ABL. I'm going to be a lot more consistent on that channel coming up here pretty soon. My goal is to put out as much there as I put out on this channel and to have a little bit of different content, nutrition, and things of this nature. talking about what I eat throughout the day, all that good stuff. So please subscribe to Uncle ABL. Shout out to you, Charlie. I appreciate you, boss. Thank you to Lothair, who says, hey, what up, ABL? That 1 meal a day is good advice, and it helps me out with my health and weight. I appreciate it, my man. I appreciate it, man. Hear it in my Japanese girlfriend says, hello, Luciferian Libertarian, always keep up good work. Thank you for that, man. Appreciate you. Thank you to Apple again, who says, ABL, which is best, cigar, pipe, shisha, bong. I'm not really into smoking, but I would just say cigar. The pipes and the bongs kind of give me crackhead vibes, Nothing against you guys who smoke bongs and whatnot. But for me, a cigar would be the best because I'm not a smoker. All right. Shout out to Apple again, who says, you like popcorn, butter, garlic, caramel, cheese, regular popcorn with butter in the movie theater. Always in the movie theater. That's what I want to get out of all those. Geo Smucker says, do Uncle ABL daily shows? I will. That's my goal, to do at least one a day every day on Uncle ABL. And then eventually I want to put out as many as I do on this channel. I want to do 3 a day on both. That's my goal. We'll see if I can do it. And if you guys have any ideas for Uncle ABL, please send me an email. The email is always contact@anthonyblogan.com. And you can always find that on my website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Thank you to Apple again, who says, thoughts ABL, Biden replace Kamala with Nikki Haley. No, that ain't going to happen. Also, ABL, is there a Democrat leader that you respect? No. I can say that with confidence. Thank you to Waylon Jennings, who says, I want Tyson to come out with no holding back. Teach him a lesson real quick. Yeah, hey, I say go ahead and just go for the jugular. First round knockout, old school style. Take it back to the 80s. Is what I want to see. Thank you to Apple again, who says, Biden arrests meatballs and pro-life pastors. J6ers in solitary, denied legal rights. FBI intimidating social media companies. But Trump's the dictator? Exactly. That's kind of sound like gaslighting to me. Thank you again to Apple, who says, left cries because AI makes photos of Trump with blacks, but MAGA doesn't need fake photos. ABL, you met Trump at the White House. Trump funded HBCUs to a high level. Well, I didn't meet Trump, but I was in the White House 3 times with Trump. And I mean, we had an event with 2,000 of us in 2020 that went to the White House, 2,000 black folks. So we don't need AI pictures. There's no need for that to make it seem like he's cool with us, because he is. Thank you to No White Guilt, who says, ABL, did you receive my book? It's a comedy, dang it, that I sent you. Salute. I appreciate you. Did I get it? I'm not quite sure. I have to check my P.O. box. Thank you to TZ Burton, who says, ABL, thanks for disabling YouTube midstream ads. They are annoying. Shout out to Apu, the official sponsor of the ABL show. Thank you for that. And thank you for supporting the show. Hey, for your support, that means I don't need the ads at all. And I don't want to have the ads be intrusive and interrupt the experience. I want to have it be a nice, clean, smooth experience with you guys. All right. Shout out to Papa Naya Shelley, who says, ABL confession. Yeah. Talking about the transformer at the beach. That was crazy. I didn't know. Thank you to Big Rocks, Little Rocks. Hold on. Before I get to that, I kind of skipped ahead a little bit. Thank you to Team Numb Ends. I can't read that one, boss, who says, ABL, thank you for bringing the news on the weekend. Wish you the best. Love your content. Worst administration ever. Clown World. Thank you for that. Appreciate you, boss. Thank you to Big Rocks, Little Rocks, who says, ABL, you sure get perky when a lady calls the show. Would you consider yourself a gentleman of the night? Or do you play the role of a mailman? I'm just me, man. I'm just a smooth guy. I've always had women that like me. That's pretty much just me. I'm just naturally myself. I don't try to do nothing extra. Thank you to Waylon Jennings, who says, so much respect for you, Anthony, but we're done tiptoeing around the tulips with these crazy people. Folks like me want the best for everybody. MAGA, thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Infiction, who says, Florida trying to say soft without saying, Florida trying to say soft A without saying soft A. Basically, that's what's happening right there. But okay, I pretty much got everybody, I believe. If I miss you, don't blame me, blame the white man. But now let's get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. The number will always be in the description and at a certain point right here in the ticker below. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. The number to call, like I said, 434-658-1220. There's also an email for Skype. If it doesn't work right, don't blame me, blame the white man, because it ain't my fault. Let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling. All righty, and let's see here. Yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. 781, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, this is Peter from Boston. How you doing?
I'm well, man. How about yourself?
I'm good. There's three things I wanted to talk about because I don't want to take up all the time here. And I'm running the three by you. You pick which one. The EV situation you brought up, cannabis, or something from your other channel, like my dating philosophy. Where do you want to hit on?
Whatever one you want. Oh, how about the EVs? Because that's a pretty hot one.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I was accused of being an ABL fanboy last time I called in, because I guess I kind of am. I was kind of motivating you to do another channel, telling you about how I like that, all that, blah, blah, blah. I'm an ABL fanboy. I'll give them that. They're right. But I'm also an Elon fanboy, and I love everything he does, pretty much. And with the EV situation, you had a lot of good talking points there that I was very intrigued about, that you even got me thinking, like, man, I never thought about that from this perspective, from your perspective, because for mine and a lot of people, it's like, oh, it's new, it's green, it's good, it's awesome. But hearing what you were saying, it's like, wow, okay, these are good arguments. And one thing that I got to think of, though, that I was rewatching a lot of what Elon was saying about EVs, and one thing that he says is that he's pretty adamant on is, all right, like internal combustion engines, they're great. He's all for oil. He's all for, using up all the dyno fuel. He's not trying to abolish that in any way. He says we need to use the current resources to propel us to the future. And the reason why he wants to make electric vehicles is because simply internal combustion engines are not sustainable. Like, there is a finite amount of oil, and there has to be something to replace them in the future. And that's basically what he's trying to fill, is that point when, okay, we're running out of oil. This might be 20, 50, 30, 40, 50, 100 years, but either way, it's not sustainable. So his perspective is we need something that is sustainable. That's why Tesla is more than just a car company. They are a huge, solar company. They're an energy storage company. And the cars sort of feed off of that, because when you have battery tech that's advancing every year crazily, and solar tech that's advancing, and energy storage tech, and now you got a vehicle that can use that energy and take it, it's a pretty good sustainable system. Now, the road situation is interesting because roads are a petroleum product, asphalt, right? So if we're going to run out of internal combustion engine fuel, gasoline, we're also going to run out of asphalt. We're also going to run out of plastic. We're also going to run out of everything that's a petroleum product. So that's like, we got a whole nother situation to address with that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, the issue with EVs is, how are we going to power them? Where does that come from?
Well, that's why, Tesla is also a solar company as well. He's breaking ground on all different types of solar capture technologies and energy storage technologies. He's big on solar. That's his thing. So, in theory, if we utilize solar power good enough, and we have good enough energy storage capabilities with new tech with batteries, the other thing too that Tesla is good about is he at his, I guess you could call it the Tesla State of the Union address, he was talking about how within a certain amount of time, there is an absolute plan that they will not be using any cobalt from any of these mines that are using child labor or illegal labor. Like they're using pretty sustainably harvested minerals for his company. Like he specifically mentioned that because they know it's like a hot button issue. But that energy, ideally comes from the sun. In a perfect world, that's what he's trying to get at, is like sustainability from the sun, good batteries for energy storage, and then there you go, plug your car into your battery and you can go for 100 couple miles. See,
the issue with EVs is that the technology that people talk about is not here. It's like, okay, it sounds great. It's like, it sounds great because we got solar power as of right now. Ain't no solar power cars. Everything's plugging into the wall and using a lot of electricity to the point where you couldn't even have all EVs right now because the strain on the grid would be too much. And the grid is being powered by the so-called fossil fuel, a lot of coal. Ironically enough, there's a demand for coal from West Virginia now after they close all the mines, talking about, oh, coal's so dangerous and it's old school. And we're gonna go to the future with EVs. So we're gonna shut the coal mines down. Now they gotta reopen the coal mines because newsflash, you gotta power these EVs some kind of way with coal. So I think that they're trying to go forward too quickly. It's just we're just not prepared for it at the end of the day.
No, yeah, 100%. I mean, that's 100% true. And I think it was one of the last times that Elon was on Joe Rogan's podcast. He was saying, like, we can't do 100% EVs right now. A, we don't have enough batteries. B, we don't have enough electricity. Like, he's on the same, like, I would love to hear Elon respond to that video you did the other day, because I feel like he would agree with you with a lot of stuff. Yeah. You know, like, I feel like he really would be on point with you, because there is no way, like, we cannot support a full EV country. Like, that's just impossible. It's insane that the Biden administration is trying to push that as a reality. Like, oh, you know, the sooner we do that, the better. No, we can't. We literally cannot support that. We literally cannot. It's insane. But, you know, it's an interesting conversation, because we're in no way prepared for a full EV. No way. I not at all. But I do think that it's good to see someone like Elon who is taking advantage of capitalism and producing a product that is available for some people if they want it. You know what I mean? Right. If it fits their needs, if they can make it happen, okay. But, like, the idea of pushing it is insane. That's insane. Like, trying to force it, because if the product is available, people will buy it if it's right for them.
Right on, man. Well, thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, ABL. I appreciate it. Have a good night.
All right, shout out to the caller. But yeah, EVs. I mean, if you got an EV, I'm not hating on you. I say if you like it, I love it. If you enjoy your EV, then rock on out. But it's just to try and replace internal combustion engine vehicles with EVs at this moment, we're just not prepared for it at all. Let's keep on going. 786 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Mr. Anthony Brian Logan. How are you, sir?
I'm well. About yourself?
No, not too bad. Well, you can tell by the area code, and I am calling from the Miami area. I mean, I was going to call in tonight, I should say, and talk about other things, but now that Miami Beach has become the topic, you know, I can speak firsthand about living here. I know during the night, I don't know about South Beach, but I tell you now, downtown Miami was extremely packed tonight. My wife and I drove through there. It's just almost one big traffic jam. I guess the spring breakers are going to downtown instead, Bayside and all that part. But you're right about one thing is that it is probably cheaper to stay at a hotel in Brickell, or if you can, maybe if you're willing to stay a little bit further away, maybe Doral or the Kendall area. You know, you can stay at a hotel there for about $140 a night, and then plus the Uber to go to the beach. Rather than, you know, if you stay at South Beach, you're lucky you can find a room for under $300.
Correct. Absolutely.
A night.
Yep.
And that's my experience is I know I had to set someone straight who told you, and you mentioned about staying in Hialeah. Don't stay in Hialeah. I mean, the hotels there, their number one clientele are people that rent rooms by the hour, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and the same thing too along Southwest 8th Street. A lot of those, you know, one hour, you know, rooms by the hour, two places, which you know, you absolutely don't want to stay there.
Not at all.
We can have a good time.
Yeah, I'm going to steer clear.
Yeah, I know the South Beach and all is wanting to beef up security a lot. They're looking to put up curfews and all that. I mean, it's you know, there are decent people that go there that you know, vacation there. I've seen people of all races there. You know, Hispanic, Latino, white, black. You know, most of the black people I've seen over there, you know, behave themselves. And all in there. There's too a lot of people who are not there. I'm not talking about the spring breakers, obviously. A lot of the black visitors there too, or you know, family people. You know, bringing their kids and all, and they don't want to go to a rowdy place that's, you have to worry about getting shot or something. I mean, spring break's out of control. Yeah, we got to probably do something to, make it more secure, and certainly, try to prevent the rabble rousers, whoever they are, from causing trouble. But, it is a tangled web that's waved, and otherwise, South Beach can be a little bit crowded. It is pricey, but, it is possible to go there and have a good time and be around decent people as well.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I know I really changed course for tonight, but I'm going to speak about something. I've lived in the Miami area over 30 years. You got to know if you got a caller ID there and all, feel free to take my number down and give me a call.
Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Of course. Have a good night.
Same to you now.
All right, bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah. Usually when you go down Miami, all that is cool. But when you have a bunch of these tourists that come from all over the place that normally don't go out, that normally don't go anywhere. It's like what I talked about as far as going to how can I say? It's like going to New Year's Eve events. People that don't normally go out don't know how to behave. That's kind of the equivalent. Let's keep on going. 360, you don't learn. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, this is Vince. Hey, I just wanted to, touch base on the last caller about the EV vehicles. I 100% agree. Your video is really great about that. I wanted to mention one of the biggest things about it is, so my dad, he actually does EV testing on these new semi-trucks that are coming out, and he's talking about how each battery weighs around 4,000 to 5,000 pounds.
Oh my goodness!
In order to deliver between like LA port and to their destination and back. But my biggest thing is that there is no real good recycling availability for these batteries. So there is a struggle to figure out how to recycle these batteries, and it's becoming to the point to where there is graveyards, quite essentially, literally, of these batteries that can't be recycled in a proper manner. So that was one thing I think you missed on your video, was like there is no real good way of recycling these batteries. So obviously, in my opinion, the way things are going, everybody's pushing towards electric vehicles, but they are not realizing that these batteries, once they're done, they have no way of mass producing a recycling. I know they're working on it, but it is a very non-existent, slow process as of this point. So when you're talking about taking, cobalt from the ground and you're making these, big holes in the ground and mining cobalt, I find it really, really hard to believe that Americans can sit here, or anybody across the world would think that this is the right way to go. A small lithium battery is essentially difficult to recycle. So when you talk about on the big scale of a car battery for a normal street vehicle or a semi, I don't understand why these people are out there pushing this quote unquote green energy when it's actually not safe for the environment. When you have these batteries that are leaking into the ground because they don't know what to do with them. So I think it's a farce, and I think that people need to be aware, like, you should be careful about what you know. In my mind, you know, gas, anything that we mine has been fairly environmentally friendly for the most part. But once you start getting into cobalt and you start, you know, digging these holes in the ground, it becomes much of a bigger effect to the environment than a lot of things that we've been using for years and years and years. Not to say that we're going to not run out at some point, but I know there's reserves, especially in America. Obviously, America is like, oh, well, we're going to use everybody else's reserves until we need ours. But then you got Biden over there selling oil because he doesn't want to have a pipeline. It's mind-boggling. But anyhow, I just wanted to just make sure that everybody understands that these electric vehicles are not, we're nowhere near, just like the last guy said, we're nowhere near where electricity can even provide enough energy. I live in an area where I'm a utility guy, and I work with people that have said that the power company cannot provide enough. We're running out of ways to provide energy. And these, you know, when you walk in or when you pull up to an EV station, they're saying that this is causing a huge effect on the grid. Just even building these. I'm
gonna cut you off. I'm gonna cut you off, but I got a few more I got to get to. A few more calls on the line. So thank you for your call.
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, ABL.
All right now.
Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, like the point he was getting at toward the end about you're working in utilities, you're having hard times being able to actually feed the grid. There's so much of a demand with these EVs coming on. It's just we're not really thinking about how this is going to actually work. Then they have all these demands talking about, okay, we got to have EVs and it's got to be this number by this time. It's just too much. 501, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, yo, this is Robert.
All righty, what's happening?
Not much. So earlier when you were talking about chicken thighs, so I'm pretty sure you can remember back during the Trump era, chicken thighs, you could buy like an 8 or 10 pack for about like $2.50.
Oh yeah, it was definitely.
And
much
now,
different.
yeah, and now, like I'm in Texas, so like you're saying at $10 here, they're ranging anywhere between $6.78 to like $8, you know, for a pack. So yeah, Biden, you know, that's kind of like when he came out that 4th of July talking about what was it, sauerkraut or something like that was cheaper than everything else. It was like, okay, who cares about sauerkraut?
Right. Like, how about the actual food we eat, like the real protein we need? Sauerkraut, take or leave it, but I got to have some of that protein, some basic essentials. These are things that are going all the way through the roof.
Yeah. So,
you're breaking up there, boss. I can't hear you.
Like I told you not a couple months ago that I was going to school after I retired from the military. So my degree is in environmental regulations. And so like what, you know, a lot of your callers are talking about right now, it's kind of crazy because I got these, well, you know how these teachers are, they woke. So they're literally telling, you know, the young people, you know, oh yeah, EVs are good and all this other stuff, but they don't really break it down, you know, as, you know, some of these other callers were saying, like with these batteries, and we know that you can't just throw these big batteries in the landfill. Now, some places are able to take some batteries that are in decent condition and they're able to charge and they can use them in houses for solar storage. But other than that, most of them are actually, you know, thrown in some kind of, you know, storage where they're trying to figure out what to do with them.
Right, exactly. And that's going to be the same way once you keep making more and more. It's going to be more and more storage and more. Basically, at a certain point, it won't be called storage. It'll be called a landfill. It'll be just the EV landfill. I can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
How are you now?
So did you see that? I guess it was an interview with on the, I want to say it's the David Pat Beck show.
I know
Candace Owens and Chris Cuomo.
Patrick Bet David. I've not seen the interview yet, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, Cuomo, he lost his mind.
Yeah, that's probably
because Candace was literally telling him that, you know, Putin, he's not a good guy, but the guy is smart. You know, she wasn't saying that because Cuomo kept asking, "Oh, so you vote for him and all this other stuff?" And she was like, "No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you look at him, he's intelligent. You look at Biden, he's weak and incompetent."
Exactly.
And so David Pat, you know, he got on at the very end and, you know, he was like, "Well, I'm looking just to answer, you know, to kind of put this to rest, you know, in the lens of a third person, you know, people are looking at this guy and Biden is not good for, you know, the country."
So was it Andrew or Chris?
It was Chris Cuomo.
Okay. Yeah, I got to check that out because that's pretty interesting. But, you know, Chris and all these people, they're just over there on the left. They're going to pretty much defend their side of the aisle, unfortunately. But thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. All righty. Let's go to 912. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's going on, ABL? It's your boy, Joel Davis, Media Network. How are you, brother?
Everything's good, man. What's going on with you?
I'm doing just fine, man. Just wanted to tell you before I start, thank you for always shouting me out on the show. It's really helping our channel grow, and we appreciate you. Definitely want to tell you that before I start. First things first, I want to talk about the State of the Union. It was definitely a disaster. It seemed like Biden was hollering at the U.S. instead of trying to bring us together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like a campaign run. And what was most disturbing about it is how he misspoke about the name of the young lady that got killed in Athens, Georgia, doing a job because of the illegal immigrants that were involved. He called the girl Lincoln when the girl name is Laken Hope Riley. And he had the name of the girl, had the girl's name in his hand. And this is why people say that he's incompetent. Because how are you a leader of the free world? You have all these tools to remind you what to say, note cards, teleprompters, and you still can't say the correct things, and you always sound like a bumbling idiot.
Right.
I mean, you cannot have us as a nation feel like we can trust you to lead us in the time of war or even in the time of despair. I mean, the economy right now is tanked. I mean, everything is high, and he kept talking and tooting about how many jobs that he has put back into the U.S. since he took over as president. Newsflash. Just because people got through a pandemic and went back to work and those jobs are available now does not mean you added the jobs. Those jobs were just there on reserve before you even got in office. So that doesn't count. I mean, am I wrong so far?
Now you on point.
Now, here's the thing that disturbs me the most. And what disturbs me the most is how they made this bill supposed to pass this bill because of what happened to this young lady in the University of Georgia, saying that if an illegal immigrant come into this country and does any theft, burglary, or any, I would say level 3 or 4 felony, not a level 5, because we already know level 5 are going to get detained, hopefully, that all of a sudden they're going to detain them and then ship them back to the country. Well, I got a problem with that for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, why are we making a bill where we have to wait for the illegal immigrant to commit a crime before we take them out of our country, when we can take that same energy and that money, build a wall that we were working on to keep them from coming in?
Right on.
Okay. Second thing that disturbs me about this bill is that the people that are already, that has now came into this country, they can't go back to Venezuela and Honduras and a lot of these places because their crime rate now is the lowest it's been in 20 years in those other countries in South America. And they don't want them back. They have told us basically they don't want them back because they don't want that problem. So make it make sense to me how we are going to stop the problem with this little, I might as well say it, funky bill, because that's what it is. It's a Band-Aid over a gaping wound. That's all it is.
Right on. I'm with you.
And then the next thing that disturbed me is while this is all going on, you got places like Birmingham, Alabama, just had a lynching with black-on-black crime for the little girl, for the young lady who's a mother of a 3-year-old named Mahogany Jackson, because they wanted her income tax money. They were supposed to be her friend. But we have all these wokians talk about pro-black this and pro-black that. The lynching bill is supposed to protect black people, especially black young women. Why aren't there any outrage about that? Well, I can tell you why it's not no outrage, because it doesn't fit the narrative. Because if it would have been a white person or a group of white people doing that to another black woman, a young man, then you would probably hear it all over the airwaves. And this is the identity politics that is messing up our country. This is why we have so much division. And last but not least, I want to make you aware, I don't know if you heard about this, that the liberals are freaking out so bad that they basically shot themselves in the foot. They did a little mini documentary interview on BET, which for all of y'all to not know what that means, it's Black Entertainment Television, but it's owned by the white man with quotation marks because, they try to say it's pro-black. But anyway, they did an interview about why so many black people want to vote in the South for Joe Biden. And they went to the barbershop. In our culture, ABL, the barbershop is the testimony of what everybody's thinking. And you got the owner of the barbershop and several other people saying, I don't know if I want to vote for Biden this year. I might just go with Trump because Biden has not done anything for us.
Right on. So
because
I don't mean to cut you off, but I don't mean to cut you off, but I got a lot of calls on the line I want to get to.
Okay, but I'm about to wrap it up. But either way it goes, that just goes to show you that this is where we at now. People are being aware, and people are definitely are changing, and eyes are opening. So hopefully, this election here will be the one that actually get people back in the right direction, the country in the right direction too. But thanks for letting me talk, man. Sorry for being so long-winded. Love you, ABL, and keep doing God's work, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, bye, brother.
All right, shout out to my main man, Joe Davis Media Network. Joe Davis Media Network. Shout out to him for the call. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. The phone lines are jumping, so I'm going to try to get to you guys as soon as possible. Y'all hang tight. 765, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's going on, ABL?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Man, okay, so look, I've been watching you for about 4 years now, and I can tell you this. You and I, we relate on a lot of things. And the way our country is going, the way everything is going, it's transpiring right now, is, excuse my French, I understand there's a lot of kids watching, but it's pissing me off. And I really appreciate what you're doing. I love that you consistent. I subscribe to you. You consistent. You do everything you got to do, and you getting the word out there, man. Thank you, ABL.
No problem, man. It's all good.
Hey, you know something? A lot of people watch you. My concept is, do you understand the influence that you have?
I'm not sure that I do.
See, that's the thing. How now? Don't take this the wrong way, okay? Don't feel like, oh man, just another random person is calling me and is like, oh, blah blah blah. No, ABL, Anthony, I'm trying to understand if you understand the influence that you have. So what I mean by that is, like, look at what you're doing. You on YouTube, you actually making content, meaningful content at that. You making content, it's like, hey, I'm trying to get the average person to understand what I'm doing here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like, okay, I live in Indiana. Okay, yeah, I'm going to throw it out there. I live in Indiana. And a lot of people out here is like, oh, you know, I'm just live my life, blah, blah, blah. And they don't really understand what's going on in the world. Our world is burning. You know what I mean? Like, our economy, our everyday life is going down the toilet. And it sucks, man. But we live and we persevere. It's just that people like you, like, I aspire to be somebody like you, you know, like somebody that's got the bravery to speak up and say, hey, this is wrong with our country. I literally seen your videos recently, and a lot of them is talking about what's going on. Yeah, it may not be in my immediate area, but it's speaking about and talking about a lot of things that's going on in my country. And it's like, dang, man, you know, like, what do I do? You know, okay, let me, I'm gonna make it short, but I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing right now. Me personally, I don't know how you feel about it, but I've been trying for the last 3 years to be a police officer. And the reason why I'm trying to be a police officer is I want to make a difference in my community. You know, I can't.
I got you a question. So what's stopping you from being able to do it?
Nothing. I'm trying every day.
So, I mean, if you've been trying for 3 years, like, why haven't you been able to accomplish your goal? Now, I'm a little younger than you, so I'm going to use my lingo. They've been dissing me. Like, I've made it with 3 departments. I've made it to the final interview. Okay.
And they just say, they give me an email and they're like, oh, we decided to go with other candidates, et cetera, et cetera.
Did they ever give you a reason?
No, never.
So if you could just guess or imagine what the reason could be, what do you think it is?
My background. Now, I've never had no felonies. I made it out of the south side of Chicago with no felonies, no craziness.
Drugs in your background?
Huh?
Drugs in your background?
No.
No possession, distribution.
The only drug is marijuana.
You got a charge for weed?
No.
Did you ever get it expunged, even if you had a charge?
I've never had and never have been arrested for marijuana.
So, do you have any drug arrests?
No.
So, what's in your background that they might see?
I'm gonna say it like this: lust.
You got a sex charge?
Huh?
You got a sex charge?
I've never been officially charged with anything. I've just told them what happened throughout my life.
Yeah, that might be I don't want to get too personal here, but that might
Right,
be
right.
Yeah, that might be it. So here's some advice I'm gonna tell you. If you didn't go to jail for anything, you didn't get charged for anything, then I wouldn't even say nothing, because if you did something, you did it. And if you got convicted, then you got convicted. But if that didn't happen, then why would you reveal that information?
Because they asked me, they like, hey, be truthful, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I want to be a good person. I want to be a right person. I'm going to tell the truth, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you didn't get convicted, I wouldn't be offering the information. If there's no charge and conviction, then what are we talking about?
You know something? I'm going to run with that, because technically I work with the police department now. I'm not a police officer, but I work with a police department. And I'm like, you know something? If that ever come up, and I'm telling you, ABL, I'm going to cut it short because I know you got other people that want to call in. If that ever come up again, I'm going to play it like that. How about that?
Yeah, because it's like, look, okay, anybody can accuse anybody of anything, but I didn't get charged, I didn't get convicted, so what are we talking about?
I love you, ABL. Hey. Okay, look. Okay, again. You don't know how much I'm taking from this right now, because I don't often see the people I watch all the time. I watch a lot of people. I never get to talk to them personally. So I'm going to say this, okay? Thank you. Okay?
No problem, man.
Hey, man, you don't know how much you inspire me right now. I'm sitting next to my wife, and she like, oh, John, blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, dang, man, this mean. Okay, I'm going to end it with this, okay?
All right.
You remind me of 3 people in my life. How about that? That's why I've subscribed to you. You remind me of 3 people. And you're an amalgamation of those 3 people. How about that? Okay.
Hey, man, sounds good to me, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you, man. Keep on trying to get that job, man. Go ahead and get into the force. Make a difference, man.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good night. Okay.
All right. Now, same to you. All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, man. You didn't get convicted, then it's like, did you do something? Like, what's going on? But if somebody accused me of something and then there's no conviction, there's no nothing, then what are we saying? All right. So yeah, I don't know. It said something ain't right. I think it's just offering too much information. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm gonna say on that. Let's keep on going here. 864, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony. This is Christopher Bradbury. I've been watching you for about 4 years. I caught you on my dad's channel, or watching you through my dad's phone. I'm currently watching you right now. I didn't think I was going to get through, so I appreciate it. Just wanted to ask you, with 241 days left of Joe Biden, what do you think can transpire?
I mean, anything and everything can transpire. You know, summertime's coming up. It could be some kind of George Floyd event. I predicted that would happen to people I know, because all it takes is one person, just wrong place, wrong time. The media is there. Boom. Now you got an event that they're going to use in 2024 in the election. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but it could. I said it last year, and I really have known this from the beginning, that election years are always crazy. So there can be a lot that happens summertime. Like, look to when it gets warm and people start to become more active. It can happen at that time. But beyond that, I'm not really sure. I wouldn't be surprised. They're talking about aliens and UFO disclosure. So don't be surprised at anything that you see coming up here in the last 241 days of Joe Biden's presidency.
All right, I appreciate that. One more question. Could I get you to follow me back on X? I'll follow you on there. And last but not least, I kind of feel like this is coming with the whole Hamas thing. I feel like they're getting ready to call MAGA voters or supporters of MAGA. they're getting ready to draw a distinction between the MAGA extremists and quote unquote MAGA extremists and Hamas terrorists. Do you see that coming at all?
I think they're already trying to do it. They're already trying to otherize any Trump supporter, MAGA Republicans, extreme MAGA Republicans. They already have a name for us. So they're already trying to make the correlation and trying to like separate us from regular everyday Americans.
Man, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Keep rocking, keep doing what you're doing. I bought a couple of your hats before. I just thank you for this opportunity, man. Thank you, man.
Thank you for the call.
Have a good
Appreciate
night.
you. Thank you. All right. Great calls. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for calling the number to call 434. You know the rest. 434-658-1220. All right, Victor, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
Man, I was so sad that the USC football coach died.
Who died?
Lincoln Riley. The US. So if people don't know, when Joe Biden said Lincoln Riley, that's the USC head football coach name.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, it's like you got the flashcard right in front of you, and you can't like she gave you the button and said say her name, so it was like you didn't get the message at that point. That was a whole mess.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm glad that you did a story about told your story about the beach goers during those spring breaks or the summertime in Virginia.
Yeah.
Because it reminded me of what I've heard about what happened in the beaches in Texas, and particularly in Galveston, Texas. We had a thing called the Kappa Beach Party. It was back in the late 90s and the early 2000s. I don't know if they still do it. But what you explained was similar to what I've heard what was going on in Galveston during those times. It was so bad that around 2000, Kappas, the black fraternity Kappa Alpha Psi, went through a legal battle to take their name off of the beach party because they didn't want to have anything to do with it, with all the lewd behavior and all types of immoral behaviors that was going on during those times.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, and also for my personal story, not at the beach, but it shows you that they're really pointing towards the young college students. It was 2000, I think it was 2006, I believe, where I went to Texas A&M for the step show called Greek Olympiad. It was a big event in Texas. That year, Omega Psi Phi and Kappa Alpha Psi got into a huge fight. I've seen some Kappas from my school that was getting tag teamed by some Qs with chairs and stuff.
The Qs are definitely going to win that fight.
Yeah. Yeah, they got the Kappas got torn up that night. After that, Texas A&M wiped their hands with it and shut it down.
Yeah.
We had that was a very big event in Texas, and they just ruined it, doing it at Texas A&M out of all places.
Exactly. And that's the thing. It's like all these people that come in and just ruin stuff, like we don't want no parts of that. The community, like we don't want no parts of that. It's like, look, we're not trying to have that. Y'all got to go.
Yeah, exactly. I'm also glad that you did the story on the electric vehicles and the lithium batteries, because it's the one thing I dislike with people who are driving these electric vehicles, with some of them. I won't say most of them. It is some. Is that they felt like they were morally superior than anyone else because they felt like they were saving the environment. I mean, just alone, what they're doing in Africa alone should let you know that what you're doing is not just, you should not take this moral high ground just because you're driving this electrical vehicle around. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Just sound like bunch of vegans. How they think they're morally superior because they're not eating meat. Though there are some environmental consequences if you want to go the vegan route.
Oh, absolutely. Because I mean, think about trying to grow all these vegetables, all the pesticides and everything. How many squirrels and rats and roaches and insects, like everything, all the little critters that die. It's like, okay, I guess that's fine.
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, there need to be some type of population control with the animals because they could be invasive to the environment too.
That's correct. Absolutely.
Versus the boars. Like people don't like killing boars, but boars can really destroy the environment.
Yep.
Yeah. The last one I want to talk about is what was seen on MSNBC during Super Tuesday. How they talked about Virginia and they mentioned about why Virginia complaining about the borders and illegal immigrants. Now, when I moved up into Virginia, the one thing that they were talking about was an MS-13 problem.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, where are they from? El Salvador, I believe.
Yes, El Salvador. Yep.
Yeah, and how are they having a big problem in
Northern Virginia? Yeah.
When they are telling us that we don't need to worry about the border.
Exactly. It's crazy.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye.
All right, great call. Shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And the number to call, shout out to you guys, 434-658-1220. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Couldn't do it without you. But yeah, MS-13, that's a real thing up there in Washington, D.C. metro area, Northern Virginia. It's a real thing. But, you know, these people on MSNBC, they're just so dishonest. They act like that's not really a real thing when it is. All righty, Les, what's happening?
Hey, ABL, how are you?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Good. Just everyone caught a little cold, so we're just fighting through it now.
Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that.
No worries. So great show again, as always. I just wanted to go ahead and touch just on a few quick things. So the Whatever podcast. I always say, right, to each their own. Everybody gets into the podcast business because they want to talk and touch on, separate areas and what's going on in the world, right, and in society and everything. The only thing what I have to say though with the Whatever podcast is the simple fact of, and Fresh and Fit too, because I know you did mention that, and that popped into my head because they were kind of similar but different. They're like double-edged swords, right? So it's like on one end they're exposing the modern day feminists, the women in the dating market, and then the thing is that okay, so they're exposing what's going on in the modern day feminist, right? The modern day woman, but it's kind of like, but what's the solution to the poison? You get me? I see it the way you just said it, that they're just basically advertising them because that's really what it comes down to, but again, it's a double-edged sword. I get it. They're exposing, but it's kind of like, okay, what now,
Right, exactly.
The State of the Union address was a disaster. It was nothing but lies. Tucker Carlson nailed it. I think a lot of individuals that commented on this nailed it, that it was just, especially on the conservative side, okay, I have to put that out there, on the conservative side, it was just, in reality, we called it out for what it is. It's just lies and deceit, and it was just so... It was cringe. It was cringe. And the simple fact that Biden had to go ahead and correct that he did not say illegals. Sir, they are illegals. They are illegal aliens. We have to call it out for what it is. They came into this country illegally. They broke our laws. And we have to call it out for what it is. But of course, the deep state, the swamp, will not do that. Or they refuse to, at least, because they have a different agenda, and this is why they are just trying to sugarcoat and cover all their tracks. And again, they're going out here saying, no, the economy is great, everything's great, and we don't have a problem at our border, when in fact, every single day Americans, right, everyday regular Joes, right, you and I, a lot of people, we can all relate that it's a struggle. There's other people that are financially a little bit more stable than others, but at the end of the day, we're we're still experiencing the effects of the inflation and what we call, what is it, the Biden economics?
That's right.
And then last but not least, Senator Katie Britt. She does better in her interviews. Her speeches is like, have the same energy as your interviews because that speech was cringe. I know that she was trying to maybe paint this image that she could relate some ways somehow to the normal everyday American person, but it's kind of like, it's kind of like, it's like saying, she was trying to fit into a shoe that she obviously doesn't fit, you know? So it just stick to your regular interview vibes, your energy, and I think you'll be all right. But that's about it, ABL. Thank you for taking my call. I want to wish you a wonderful rest of your night. God bless you. God bless the chat and the little Patriots. Let us say good night. Good night.
Thank you for the call. Good night, y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Take care, ABL. Bye bye.
All right, great call as always. 773 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, it's your retired Chicago police officer friend. Thanks for squeezing my call in, ABL. I wanted to hit the topics about, what's happening in Miami with the spring breakers and in New York City and the subways with the National Guard and the Sheriff's Department and the New York City Police. What that is, ABL, really, it's called the broken windows theory, and that is what cleaned up Times Square. And what the broken windows theory is, from the 90s, it was deployed. What the broken windows theory says is if you police the small stuff, like drinking on the public way and smoking weed on the streets, hanging out, prostitution and solicitation, that some of these more serious crimes like murder and armed robbery and these gun crimes is a symptom of that and will go away. Now, personally, I was on a team, it was called the Targeted Response Unit during the 90s. And what we did was, as a team, we would go citywide and respond to any gang murders, any murders that happen with street gangs and these kind of real violence. We would go into these areas. I would go into work and not knowing what district I'd be working in that night. So we would go into these areas that had this gang violence, and really we would deploy the broken windows theory, which is we're going to make traffic stops. We're going to stop people that are hanging on the corners. We're going to, we went into the projects where there were murders and, drug wars in these projects, and we would stop everybody. These are government projects. You have to live here to come in here. We want to see your ID and all this. And what happened was the community kind of turned on the police because they said it was police harassment and that, we were stopping people for no reason. Well, that was our response to this unfettered violence that was going on in these areas. So they got rid of that because it was looked at as oppressive by the police. But now these leftists and these Democrats, they're taking up these same policies. And why is that? The reason they're doing that is because that's the only way to take control back. Once it gets so out of control and violence gets so out of control, you need to do something to take it back. For instance, in Miami, of course, all those hotels, they don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian. They want your green money at the hotels to be spent. But once spring break goes bad and it starts costing the hotels more money in lawsuits, in fixing things up that have been broken, all these problems that they have in the community from these spring breakers, now they're going to deploy the broken windows theory, which is, and they said it themselves, check bags. We're going to restrict alcohol on the beach. We're going to set curfews. All these things is the broken window theory. We're going to make it so it's a drag for people like you, regardless of race, meaning people, spring breakers that are out of control. We are going to make it where it's a drag to be here. You won't want to come to Miami. We don't want your business. Even though your business brings thousands of dollars, we are going to institute these small things, broken window theory. We're going to institute these small things that hopefully stop the bigger violence, stops the shootings, stops the riots in the streets from, getting out of hand. And that's what they want to do. Now with New York City, it's the same thing. New York City is out of control, even with the illegals and everything else. So how can we fix that? Well, we're going to deploy the National Guard and the Sheriff's Department to show police presence. Police departments, ABL, big police departments like New York and Chicago, we no longer have the manpower to have a team like I was on. That finally disbanded. Why? Because they, stopped hiring police and everything else. And suddenly you need somebody to take the 911 calls and be in patrol. You can't have these specialized units where, we had, I forgot how many policemen in that unit, but it was, a significant number. It was hundreds of people in that unit, not just a few. And now, if you don't have the manpower for that, you need help from the National Guard and the Sheriff's Department and everything else. And Chicago was threatening to do that, but what they didn't want to happen is, you talk about accountability. The police department has all kinds of accountability, and I have to, watch what I say and how I conduct myself on the streets. But when you're in the National Guard, you're just a soldier. You're not going to go by the same rules that the police do. Here's the thing. We're going to check your bag. Well, I didn't do anything wrong. Why are you checking my bag? I just want to go on the subway, right? Well, the reason we're checking your bag is because we don't want guns on here. People are getting shot on the subway. But that's the fine line that you're walking here. And we're talking about Democrats instituting this now, ABL, not just Republicans. We're gonna stop you. We're gonna do roadblocks for DUI. I've done those things too, those roadblocks for DUI. And there's a real shaky ground once it gets to court on, did you have the right to stop me? What did I do to make you single me out? Well, you weren't singled out. How they got around it, ABL, is we take every fifth car. So every fifth car, we stop them no matter what. And so there's problems with that when it comes to court and everything else. But the bottom line is they're trying to get a handle on this crime. They're going to do this in Chicago too, ABL, because of the Democratic National Convention coming here. I believe we're going to deploy the National Guard here also. And I told you already from my friends, they already let me know that all furloughs, meaning vacation time, for during the National Convention has been canceled. They never canceled furlough time. There's guys, they work the desk. They've been there 34 years, but their vacations are now canceled because they need the manpower for this Democratic National Convention. And I believe that they're going to probably deploy the National Guard here too. So we'll see what happens. But this is going to happen too. If Trump wins the presidency, which I hope he does, there's going to be things that he has to do in order to fix the problem created by Biden's open door policy at the border. So you might see Trump start to gather people up, put them in detention centers for a short time in order to get them back over the border. And, you can apply the legal way and we'll go through your application, but now while you're in the country. So you're going to see an uprising of people saying, look what he's doing, look what's happening. Well, look what's happening with your own Democratic Party. You're stopping people for no other reason and opening their bags in the subway and saying you can't ride the subway until we look in your bags. Well, not that I'm against that, ABL, but they're trying to take control of violence gone amok. and it breaks people's, constitutional right to free movement and all this other nonsense that, you see, in courtrooms. But the fact remains, something has to be done, and this is the way they're trying to do it. So we'll see what happens, ABL. Thanks for taking my call. Always love your content, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Great way to end the show, and that will be a wrap for me. If you couldn't get on tonight, I'm sorry. Please blame the white man. It's not my fault. But I'll be back live again on Wednesday, same bat time, same bat place, 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to you guys for watching. Thank you. I could not do the show without you. Shout out to everybody for watching, retweeting, super chatting. You're most certainly appreciated. This is also a podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just search ABL Live on your favorite audio streaming platform, and I should pop right on up. A quick reminder, tonight's the night, daylight saving time. We go forward 1 hour. You lose an hour. Now, I don't know who had the bright idea to create daylight saving time, but they should be waterboarded, because I don't like losing an hour, but that happens tonight. So technically, Sunday morning at 2 a.m., the clocks go forward. So you go to bed tonight, you get up in the morning, you will have lost 1 hour. If you normally get up at 8 a.m., when you get up, it'll be 9 a.m. So your phone automatically, of course, will go back. But tonight, the clocks go forward 1 hour. So please be aware of the time difference. And shout out to you guys for being here. Like I said, you guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. I want to make sure I got all the super chats. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow clean on top. Let me see. I think YouTube wants to hide my super chats. It's fine. Let me go find them over in the different place. And let's get rocking and rolling like that. Shout out to you guys again. I'll be back live on Wednesday. You guys know how I do. Let me go here. Where am I at? Okay, let's see. All right. Shout out to Gooch, who says e-cars are the fur coats. They're just trying to feel superior to plebes. Shout out to John Kennedy, who says, ABL, you are appreciated. Keep up the good work. Thank you for that. Thank you to Bot MIT, who says, we need cars that can run on moonshine. Let's go corn power. Well, is it technically, wouldn't that be, what's the name of that additive they put into the gas? You know what I'm talking about. Technically, isn't that what that is? Corn? Think of the infection that says Florida, trying to say, already read that one. But yeah, that's what that is. I want to know what that ethanol. Yeah, that's pretty much what that is already. So yeah, shout out to ethanol. But yeah, that'll be a wrap for me. I will see you guys again on Wednesday, but I'm here pretty much every day putting out pre-recorded content, and that'll be it. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.